Peoples of the interwebs. Are we out there? How are we doing? What kind of week have we had? It's been well, no, okay. Whoa. Insect in the tennis racket of death. It hasn't been a week, has it? We were live on Sunday night. My glasses are... What the hell is that? That's bad, isn't it? Why have I only just noticed as I've gone live? Look at the state of my face and nose. I've been in the sun a little bit this week. It's been another hot one in Spain, and with having my pal Joby here in the field and other visitors, Anthony, we've been sitting out quite a bit, and I've caught, despite trying to keep my back to the sun, I must have a big schnoz. Look at it. I've managed to catch the sun quite several. If you compare the underside of the nose with the nose and the cheeks, that's quite impressive. I don't have a mirror anymore, so I don't tend to look at myself. As much as you all think that I am a narcissist, I know you all think I'm a narcissist, and I play along with it a little bit, but no, I haven't looked at myself this week. I haven't seen myself, because I haven't done any videos. I have recorded one today. We've been on our travels, me and my little lady. We've been out for the first time in forever and ever. Proper out, folks. Out. About, you'd have to look it up on a map if you know where I am and where Tweeties is, but about a kilometre, maybe a kilometre and a half, that away. I'm not good at gauging distances, especially when you have to walk through streets and it gets a little bit higgledy-piggledy. Yeah, somewhere between a kilometre and a mile. I'm not entirely sure, but we went out today and had I had my annual treat of fish and chips at the back end of August. We're in the last few days, yeah? Where are we? Date-wise, 29th, so yeah. This is a 31, yeah? 30 days of September, April, June and November. So August is a 31er. Okay. How are we doing? There's Oscar, super enriched. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Right back at you, Oscar. 4 thumbs ups already. That's not bad for 6 people in the house. If you haven't, take the fucking hint. No topics planned, folks. I haven't got much to talk about other than me and my lady. Obviously, I've had Joby in the field. My friend Anthony was in the country for about a day and a half, all told, spread over 3 days. Is it still hot? Yeah. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can get you a temperature for right here, right now. Hold on. 32 tomorrow. That'll be 2 degrees cooler than today. So today's been 34 apparently. I can look on the tablet, can't I? I don't have to stick to the phone. I can look on the tablet and get you an actual temperature for in the field. Right now it's still 30. We are on 10:30 on a Friday night. 30 degrees, feels like 31. The humidity's come down quite a lot the last few days. A couple of days ago, humidity was 80-90%. Today it was like 50, I think. So it's been quite a relief. It's felt a little bit cooler even when it hasn't been. So that's tomorrow. Humidity is going to be 37%. So that's overnight. The dew point is going to be 14 degrees. We're not going to get anywhere near that, so there's no... So look how low it's going to go overnight. Yeah. just before sunrise, it will fall to 24 degrees. Last night, the breeze was positively warm. Me and Joby sat out here, and at like midnight or whatever fucking time we were out, the breeze was positively warm. Yeah, when it's 30 degrees and the breeze is even warmer, that's a little bit suboptimal, isn't it? I can't remember the last time I got under bed covers, folks. I've multiple months, 4 or 5 months, I just lay on top of the bed. I actually, at the minute, most of the bed clothes are pushed down and off the bed. Because I can't get off the bed and walk around, it's too narrow. I have to bum. I can walk onto the bed and lay down, but to get off, I tend to bum shuffle to the bottom and then try and stand up. And I'll even, the act of bum shuffling down the bed brings the covers down that end with me. And then trying to stand up, the covers get caught behind my legs, like in my knees, like as a vice, and get pulled and lifted off the bed as I stand. It's all very awkward. The covers are hanging off the bottom of the bed, and I'm just laying on a bare mattress to all intents and purposes. Once every day or two, I'll have a half-hearted attempt at just picking them up and throwing them back that away. But it's half-hearted because what's the fucking point? By the end of the day, they're going to be hanging off again. Let's not kid ourselves. So there's no real... Let me show you her ladyship. Let's do this because we have our traditions, folks. And if you don't have your traditions, what are you? Without our traditions, we're nothing. Here's my lady. Hey, babe. She's just finishing her supper. Like I said, we were out earlier. I had fish chips and mushy peas down at Tweety's. Dinner. And she had about a third of mine. And then the nice people at Tweety's gave her a big meaty jumbo sausage. So that was nice. Nice people, nice atmosphere. Really do like Tweety's. If ever you're in Torrevieja, folks, I would say, in my humble estimation, as a fish and chips expert, that they're the best in Torrevieja. Amongst the best I've ever had, to be honest. Portion size, everything. You get a long fish, and usually inside the same batter there'll be another half a fish, like inside the same casing, inside the same batter. And then you've got a plate full of chips, and you've got your a big splodge of mushy peas, and all for, I think fish chips and mushy peas is just under 11. I think it's 9 for the fish and chips and 150 or maybe 2 for the mushy peas, and then of course a refreshment or 2 while you eat it. Very nice. And then a nice walk back to camp to burn off a few excess calories, because yeah. And that's my once a year treat, I guess. It's not, I can't afford to eat out in a restaurant, bar, whatever you want to call it. It's not something that as a homeless guy you get to do often. But if someone sends me the money and says go and treat yourself, then I do. My friend Anthony's been here this week, and he dropped off a few euros. Is Tina getting used to her wheels now? I think so. Yeah, this was our first long walk with them. We've come up and down the path around and about the camp a few times. We only got them back, was it yesterday or was it the day before? The lady who'd been adjusting them has now left the country, Sanja. So thank you to Sanja, my Danish friend, for all her efforts. And she dropped off some of the excess pieces of the wheelchair, brought back the excess parts, but she also brought back some tools and some bits and pieces, some belts and straps and tubings and fixings and things in case, and screwdrivers and Allen keys in case we needed to make any adjustments. But so far, I think the only thing I need to do, whoa, fuck. I just watched one of those green beetles just fly right into the tennis racket of death. The only thing I need is a new bungee cord. We're using one that that a couple bought me ages ago when they brought the trolley for me to fetch water from the foot wash, and it's kind of perished over time. It's on its last legs, this particular bungee cord. So we got that. That goes under her neck stroke chest, so that sometimes the weight wants to move towards the back, the center of balance, and just having that catcher on her chest just holds it in place. But that bungee cord fell off at one point today, and it's short. It needs replacing. I don't know how expensive they are. He probably sells them at the Chino Bazaar. They're probably not the best quality, but this one looks to be just under a meter or so. It wraps approximately 3 times around the two stanchions, the two bars on her chariot. I call it her chariot. If you look at the description of this particular broadcast, you'll see that I used a derogatory term for it. I called it her Spaz chariot, but that's me and not wanting to have my speech policed. I will say Spaz, I will say Spaz chariot, I will use all those other words, all the gamer words. I had a big heated exchange both with YouTube and with X yesterday over the Midlands meatballs. I will not have my fucking speech be policed. Don't tell me words I cannot use. It's just not, it's not in my nature to comply. For anyone who doesn't get the reference, if you're not British, it's the longer version of our word for cigarettes. Often known as the F slur or the gay slur. It's faggots, that's what it is. I say faggots every now and again. Not to someone who is gay, because that would be weird. I say it to manly men when they do something a little bit poncy, when they chicken out of something or drop a whoopsie. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call a manly man a faggot, not an actual gay person. That would be weird. I'm not explaining myself. Yeah, there you go. You see, the Spastic Society used to be a thing. And then Joey Deacon happened. And we all went around the playground calling everybody a Joey and a Spaz. And so they renamed it to Scope. And what did we do? We ran around the playground calling everyone a Scoper. Because what are you going to do? Now, would we call someone who actually had that condition a name? Maybe when we were 10 or 11, but not, you know what I mean, not in the real world, not now. That would be bizarre, that would be weird, that would be cruel. In the same way that you don't call someone who's gay a faggot. I mean, that's just, you call your best mate it. We call them gamer words. They're words that gamers use in the hallways before they go into the games or when they come out of the games. It's a friendly insult amongst manly men. Do not try and police my fucking speech. Vision on and morph. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. the claymation things, Tony Hart, with the gallery and all of that. And before, well, not before, but the guy that became Doctor Who used to push around one of those white rollers with a wheel for marking out tennis courts and football grounds, and he'd do art. Sylvester McCoy would do art on the ground of a field or whatever. I remember Vision On and Morph and Morph's brother, Chaz, I think, maybe. Chaz rather than Spaz, maybe. Dragging up memories. Strong quotes, hello, hello. Sending good vibes. Vitruvium, that's my mate Ryan who came down last weekend. When I didn't finish my beer, I was definitely a faggot. Too much sand in your vagina, my friend. I mean, what can you do? At least you didn't drop your phone on the floor and lose it for half an hour. Let me work back and see if I've missed any. I didn't see you arrive. There you were, Ryan. Hello and buenas noches. Hope you're well. We're very well. Been out and had fish and chips at Tweety's. Hannah's in the house. Hello, Hannah. Strong quotes asking how you doing, Mike. We're good. We're all good. We've been out, like I said. We went out. What? I was aiming to leave about 6, but I think it was 6:30 by the time we left. There was quite a strong wind earlier, and I was a little bit concerned about leaving the tent. I had to close the doors, and we were being hit broadside, but we looked to have survived. Whoa! We walked. You'd have to look on Google Maps and tell me how far we walked from the camp here. Apparently, I'm on Google Maps. You can type Delta Mike Torrevieja, and it'll show it on Google Maps. Then ask for the route to Tweety's on the distance, Tweety's Fish and Chips, and it'll tell you whether I've walked 1 kilometre, 1.5, whatever it is, somewhere that way, up and over a hill. And I got her ladyship there, got her in the lift, and struggled to get her out of the lift because she had to walk out backwards. Then we had to get her past. We have to pass another bar to get to Tweety's Fish and Chip bar stroke restaurant. We had to get around a few people. We got hung up on one. We got a wheel caught behind a child's chair, but they were all right about it. No, there was no harm. There was no foul. Tina was well behaved. The kid was okay about it. Family was okay. We got her unhooked. We got in. For the first 5 minutes, I didn't know if I was going to leave her in her chariot or whether I was going to take her out. But she's standing up on her front legs all the time, isn't she? So I decided to take her out of her chariot. Which the chariot stands up nicely on end. I was able to just move the other chair at the table out backwards and just stand the chariot up on its back end. And then Tina just bum shuffled under the table and stuck her head between my legs. If you not like that, don't be like that. But yeah, and then of course I eventually got my food, and Tina got her third, roughly, of my food. And then as a treat, they brought her out this jumbo sausage, so that was nice. I cut it up for her, let it cool down a little bit, and I fed it to her. And now she's just had her own food. Now that we're home, she's just had her own food back here. So tomorrow, I can expect double portions of output from the poo factory. Hey, babe. Yeah. Can't I? There'll be double portions because she had all of that fish and chips. She had her jumbo sausage, and then she's had her own food now we've come home. I got to thank 2 ladies who've stopped by the tent a few times this last week or 2. They're going to go home tomorrow to Russia, but Inna and Sophia have brought 2 bags of dog food for Tina, and also some smaller portions, smaller pots of wet dog food. So 2 bags of dry and multiple. Oh, and they brought a box of sachets of wet food as well. So they've inundated us over this last 2 weeks. Can you hear this? We're having a successful night on the tennis racket of death. Way. Your dog is eating better than me, says Ryan. She's eating better than me, mate. What's hers is her own, and half of mine is hers as well. We've never had so many things flying into the tennis racket of death. Can you see it this side? Let me show you this side. Where it's been falling off, I have it on a ledge inside the tent. And when the wind blows and it blows in the side of the tent, it knocks off it knocks off the tennis racket of death onto the floor. It falls on things, it hits things, and all the metalwork's becoming a little bit, you can see sideways on, the metalwork is no longer contained within the device. We're having an exceptional night for Snap, Crackle and Pop, and I know that when it pops, I know this might be YouTube, will suppress the microphone. It affects the audio a little bit, so I apologize for that, but there's not much I can do. There's not a setting I can change or anything. The only thing I could do was turn off the tennis racket of death, but it's serving a purpose currently. Been quite bad for flies the last week, so yeah, let me see whether anybody's talking to me. No, I don't think so. Strong Quartz, hold on. I found your channel a few months ago. How long have you been in Spain? I've been in Spain 9 years. 9.5 now. I arrived February the 17th, 2016. About 3 months before the Brexit vote. Maybe 4 months before the Brexit vote. Hence, possibly my biggest mistake while I've been here, which was not registering for NIE and residencia and everything. You're supposed to do these things after 3 months in country. Well, after 3 months in country, the Brexit vote was like a few weeks away, and I hesitated, wanted to wait and see what was happening. On top of which, Spain was in the middle of what turned out to be 3 or 4 general elections in quick succession. And you had the American election a few months away, Trump 1.0. The first Trump in 2016. So you had all this political uncertainty, and I hesitated, which means I then, once you're behind with paperwork, how do you walk into the National Police Station and say, here I am, guys, I know I'm a couple of months late, but let's rock on and do the paperwork now. Plus there was still uncertainty. After the Brexit vote, nothing. I expected after the vote, the British government would have had plans and would have known what it was doing and would have told us how it was going to work. I didn't know they were going to ass around for 3 fucking years trying to work out what's going to happen and a whole set of negotiations, and I didn't know they were going to be totally fucking unprepared. I expected my government to have contingencies in place and to be ready in either eventuality for whether it was remain or leave. I expected my government to govern. And so I got caught up in hesitating and waiting and wanting to know what was happening, and I didn't do those paperwork things that you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do them. And let's just say that paperwork escalates from there sometimes. Hey Anthony, you're there. Glad you got back, mate. Glad you got back, and thank you for everything. I did put some of your money towards my outing to Tweeties today. I hope that's okay. A little bit of a treat for myself, but I needed kind of an excuse to go for a longer walk with the doggy and her chariot, and that all worked out okay. We had one little incident where, I guess my fault. We were on a zebra crossing which was kind of humped, and I could see at the other end there wasn't a ramp to get up on the path, and we were going to go, and there was a road there, and it was all just going to be. So I decided to cut across and go diagonal straight across the junction, and coming off the ramp on a slope at an angle, Tina lost her balance, and I was too slow to notice and react. So it dumped her out of the chariot at one point. Well, it dumped her onto the floor, and I picked her out of the chariot, got her all safe and up and onto the footpath, and she fought me when I was trying to put her back into the. Honestly, it must have taken 10 minutes to get her back into the chariot. She was deliberately crossing her back legs and putting them in the wrong place and not putting them through, and her front legs that would go in and then she'd climb out. She's been a little bugger. She did not want to go back in after the spill. But I think by the end, she was enjoying it again. She'd enjoyed it overall. The liberty, the freedom, the little bit of independence to go or not go when she wanted, and rather than with me carrying her and pushing and pulling. I had to give a little bit of a pull at times because inclines. At the moment, she doesn't seem to have enough strength in her front legs for when there's an incline in the footpath. Like when you cross a driveway or something and there's a dip and then it goes back up. I was having to input a little bit of extra power to help her out. But she'll get used to that. She'll get used to balance if we come off a slope at an angle. But yeah, all good. But going to Tweeties gave me a reason to get out and about. Where are we? Yeah, Tina made it to Tweeties with me. She made it okay. We crashed into a wall at one point. She has to learn to go wide around obstacles because the chariot's wider than she is with the wheels. So she's wanting to walk past lampposts and walk past kind of buttresses on walls, little outcrops in the wall. She walks past them fairly tightly, and the wheels will butt against the abutment, butt against the buttress. She just has to learn to go wide around obstacles, and that'll come with experience. She made it there. We got in the lift, we got up, we had a little bit of navigating around people to do. We made it, we managed. And I got her out of it, and everyone was all oohing and ahhing, and yeah, all good. I see Mr. S is in the house, Mr. Sharafshire. The fly swatter is having a blast. It is, my friend, it is. It's, yeah, we've never had so many snap, crackle, pops. How come you entered Spain? Was it scrolled on me again when I didn't want it to? How come you entered Spain? Was it a vacation or... I won't ask more if it's too much, but I'm just curious. TrampCast 001 is your friend. All my life story, all the backstory of Spain and everything's there. I split from my wife. I had a business, was a bit bored with it. Thought I could carry on and operate the business from by the pool with a laptop, and did for a while. Came out, I rented an apartment out here just as a holiday let for 13 days, but I came out here with the intention of staying. That was just step one, and I had 13 days to find somewhere else. I got somewhere else for 3 months. At the end of 3 months, I got somewhere else for, it was supposed to be 11 months. And they fiddled the paperwork and made it 9 for some reason. And then I got a year after that, or just short, I think 11 months after that. So I did. I came out here intending to stay, and I stayed. Entered entirely legally. We were in the EU at the time. I came legally. I just didn't do the paperwork at that 3-month point when technically you should, but a lot of people didn't back then. I bet Tina gets all the attention from the ladies now with her chariot. She gets all the attention from. She got all the attention from everybody beforehand. These two ladies that have been bringing the food the last couple of weeks, Ina and Sophia, just saw Tina sat outside the tent, like barking at people as they walked past. Tina defending the camp from passers-by, and they brought food because obviously tramp in a tent plus dog bring dog food, and they've been very friendly and very nice for the last 2 weeks. They're coming past once or twice a day to go swimming and what have you at the beach and what have you. So yeah, Tina gets all the attention from everybody. The ladies in particular, yeah. Tina's a magnet. I'm saying them all. Get myself in trouble again. Let me scroll back. Tom's in the house. Hello, Tom. Which Tom? I'm going to guess it's Tom. It's Tom in the Shetlands. Tom. Hello, Tom. Brilliant. Great. The wheels are working. They are indeed, Anthony. Yeah. The wheels are working, doing their job. I just got to get a newer bungee cord. I might reposition it more under the chest than under the like behind the front legs rather than in front of, because of the risk to chest and neck here. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, the danger with the perished bungee cord is that it could snap, and then you've got plastic hooks whipping around, and where they stop nobody knows. Mr. S will be dropping in and out. You're more than welcome, my friend. In and out as you see fit. Strong Quartz is going to go to sleep. Have a lovely stream. Hope to catch you on the next one, Mike. Yeah, the next one should... I'm thinking of doing a proper TrampCast tomorrow afternoon. 5 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. UK. 5 p.m. That's 11 a.m. Eastern US. I can't guarantee it at this point because I got to do the numbers round and make sure my notes are fully up to date and padded, and maybe at least one read through so I know what I'm talking about. Because I'm going to be talking about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We're behind with TrampCast proper. I want to get back on top. So we'll maybe do one of those tomorrow, and Sunday we'll try and do another TrampCast proper, and then a hangout at night again, if the mood takes me and if I don't lose my voice. After the one on Sunday night, I was very hoarse Monday. Was it Sunday night or was it Monday? Whenever the last one was, I was very hoarse afterwards. I think... Oh, I don't remember. Okay, darling, it's just cats. It's okay. Tina's okay. It's okay. 5 p.m. is your time zone. You're from Denmark, so it matches you. Okay, so Central European-ish. Yeah. Like some of you guys that get 1 hour ahead. I think the Finns are 1 hour further ahead, but I think you Danes, you're on the same schedule as us in Spain, probably. Okay. Well, folks, 19 people here, only 12 thumbs up. So I mean, I'd appreciate another thumbs up or 3. Yeah, Finland go 1 hour ahead. Yeah. Further over to the east. that's the end of the first beer. And we're only 35 minutes in and I've finished a beer already. That's a little bit of a danger sign. I forgot, folks. I came back from Tweeties, from the fish and chip. Terrence, hello mate. Hello Terry. Terry in Wales. I came back from Tweeties after my fish and chips. And the plan was supposed to be I was going to tie Tina up and then I was going to go back and go to the Chino Bazaar and buy the weekend beer. Forgot. So I've only got 5 beers until I go to the shop tomorrow night, I guess. Or maybe, if I do a TrampCast tomorrow afternoon, like I was just saying, I guess I can go a couple of hours early and get them before the TrampCast that we do tomorrow. If we do one tomorrow. Like I said, it's tentative, but I'm penciling it in if anybody's interested. I've no idea what week we will be talking about. We were almost up to date 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then I've missed a few again, haven't I? So we're maybe 3 or 4 weeks behind again. I got no clue. I'll have to go back and watch the last TrampCast proper and see what week we were talking about, so I can work out which set of notes we need. What's underfoot? I've got something under my feet that I don't know what is. Okay, it's the new shoes I wore today. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I've got a big blister on my big toe. Where's the other one? I got one. Yeah, a while ago someone gave me a pair of shoes that are purportedly the right size according to the number on the sole, but I could tell as soon as I put my feet in them. The shoes I've been wearing, let me show you. Have I shown you these? These are the ones I've been wearing for about the last 6 or 9 months. They look alright, don't they? Until you look here. And then you look at what's missing inside. All the different levels of sole and insole and midsole and all of that's gone. They're also split at this end, this side there. And when I walk over something solid, there's a couple of tacks sticking up in the middle of the shoe, right into the base of my foot. To the point I've been walking on them so long, it's kind of healed up, but I've got this like volcano in the bottom of my foot, this crater in the bottom of my foot from these two what size shoe do you have? It always varies, doesn't it? Because these things are a fucking movable feast. They're never. I remember when shoes used to be sized properly and standardized. Nowadays they're all a joke and all over the place. That was a good one. The fly just flew into the tennis racket of death and sparks flew out that way. We've got to watch out for that. I could be starting a fire. Forest fire started by tennis racket of death. At 43 is typically the shoe size I'm on at the minute. Occasionally it'll be a 42. Very occasionally it's a 44. It's 43 plus or minus 1, typically. But I do, before you start rushing out and buying, I've got 5 or 6 different pairs in here. But it's just that this is the first time I tried this pair on today, and maybe they just need to ease into them. First time wearing them and then to go on a big walk, that was maybe less than ideal. I should have worn them around the camp and softened them up and broke them in a little bit first. They did pinch on the toes a little bit, so they are maybe one size too small. It's kind of how it is. Hello Josie as well. I didn't see you there. I didn't see you arrive. Oh, there you are. Hi all. Hi Mike. Hello Josie. They was strong quotes. Take care. Catch you later. Get a pair of Crocs from the Chino, last forever. I couldn't live down the embarrassment though, mate. Do I look like a Crocs kind of guy? I might as well get a pair of fucking high heels or something. Get some stockings and suspenders. What are you suggesting? Crocs. Ah, there's Oscar D. I've got multiple Oscars. We are now fully Oscared, folks. We have all the Oscars in the house. It's quite a rare name. To suddenly have two is different. But yeah, hello. That was at 23:09, which was only 2 minutes ago. I'm not that far behind. Yeah, I don't need. Thanks for the offer, Josie, but I have got I've got like a proper set of walking boots made out of like trainer material, training shoe. So they're not like leather actual walking boots, but they're good firm walking boots. I've got multiple pairs of training shoes and lighter weight pumps, plimp soles, Americans might say. Whatever. I've got lots. I'm okay for now. Thank you, but I'm okay. I don't know why I've carried on wearing these ones so long. Like I said, I've literally got a hole in the bottom of my foot from these two nails, these two tacks that are supposed to hold like the insoles and things in place. But as various things have split off, broken out, fallen out of the side, I'm left with my foot on top of these two nails. I've no idea why I've carried on. Just the ease of being able to just slip them on without tying laces. I just slide them on. In England we would say slip-ons. In America they've got another word, and it's not going to come to me. Loafers, I think, is the term, isn't it? Shoes that you just slide on. There's no laces. They're kind of either elasticated or they just slide on and off without too much effort. How's Tina doing? Oscar asks. I'll show you how Tina's doing. Where's Tina? Here she is. If I can point it that way and do this. There's Tina. That's how Tina's doing. Look, we've just disturbed her a little bit with the light, but she doesn't mind. Hey babe, can I get a cuddle? Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. There we go. The peoples like to see my Tina girl. She's just had her food, even though she'd already eaten my food when we went for fish and chips. She's doing great. She's great. I mean, we're not getting any improvement medically. You know, there's not going to be any improvement. But we've gone with the wheels option and the, as I titled it, or as I put it in the description, the Spaz chariot. We've gone with the chariot with the wheels. That's probably the best we're going to get. Even if somebody said that there was an operation or something that she could have, I'm not in a position to start paying thousands for back surgery or for whatever she might need. That's a homeless guy in a field, you know. What are you going to do? Whoa. We're really doing well today on the bug zapper. She is very happy, and we've been out and about. You've got time to read your invite to the priest of Saturn in black judges' chambers. Sign of Nature, my favourite. I don't know whether to call you my favourite conspiracy theorist, or free man of the land, or what's the other term? Sovereign citizen. I love you, mate. I love you. But I don't know. You might as well invite me to not King Arthur, Henry VIII's Star Chamber, or whatever it was called, his courts of justice. Throw away those sneakers if they hurt your feet. Yeah, I will be. I'm going to salvage the laces. I've always got a use, or I can always find a use for cordage. So the shoelaces I will keep, but the shoes will go in the bin tomorrow. Ooh. What are you? It's a moth and it's just flown into the tennis racket on 3 separate occasions and it's still going. Whoa! The fuck? We've never had a night like this. I don't know what it is. I'm not even happy about it. I don't want to be killing moths. It's for mosquitoes and fucking flies that bite. I've got no issue with moths. Get away, stay away, you crazy sod. It's going back again. What? Can we hear a weather report, please? Are you late? We already had a weather report. It's currently 30 degrees in Torrevieja. It's going to drop to a cool 24 degrees just before sunrise in the morning. And then it's going to rise back up to 32 or 33 degrees. Humidity has dropped tremendously over the last few days, so it feels cool, even more cooler. Is that even grammatically correct? So instead of being the 36s and 38 degrees that it was, that we're feeling like 44 because of humidity, it's now down to 32 through the day and feeling like 32 because we haven't got crazy humidity, or at least most of the time we haven't got crazy humidity. We had a cloudy 2 or 3 days recently, which were still hot, and they were the most humid ones. Those were actually quite terrible. The tent didn't feel like it was getting as hot because it didn't have direct sunshine on it, but the air was warm and the humidity made it feel worse than it was. Yeah, that exaggerated things. Now we're back to just a normal 32 degrees that feels like 32 instead of feeling like 38 or something daft. We even had a few droplets of rain on a couple of these days. Nothing prolonged, nothing heavy. We just sat out and laughed in it, wanting it to rain. But yeah, no, that's been the weather in Torrevieja. Roger got a bug zapper 2 days ago. Best idea that I had. I don't know. I'm not sure I had the idea. I think Karen just turned up with it one day. I asked for fly spray, and my friend Karen and family turned up with this. It does nothing through the day. The blue light doesn't attract anything through the day, but at night it seems to be a. Now I have got. Let me show you. So is it the tennis racket of death that's attracting them? Or is it the fuck off bright lantern that's on its full highest setting? I don't know. Maybe the lantern's attracting them and the bug zapper's just catching them as they spiral around it. But it, I got to admit, the moment that the tennis racket of death came into the tent, it cut down the number of mosquito bites and other irritant bites that I got, whether from like horse flies or whatever. The number of bites dropped to less than a quarter of what they'd been before. And it's nowhere near the bed or the bedroom, it's just in the tent in general. So it seems to work at night. I would say it worked. If I leave it turned on all day long, it does nothing. So the blue light at the bottom that's supposed to have an ultraviolet component to try and attract these things, I would say that doesn't work. I'd say it's just a shiny blue light at night. And in fact, BigClive.com took one apart on YouTube. I saw it. I think I saw it yesterday, so he probably did it a day or two before that. His was a small one, small and pink, because he's a little bit. Those meatballs we were talking about earlier. No, shush. Sorry, Clive. I'm going to shut up before I do get myself in trouble and start losing friends. No, he is a little bit. He's not a flouncy one. He is what's called a bear, which is a manly man gay who's into manly men with beards, and he's that kind of gay. So he's not a flouncy one. He's not all limp-wristed, and most of the time he's not anyway. But when he sends off to Temu and to wherever else for these bits and pieces, he'll pick pink if this pink is an option. But he took about, it was a tiny, like this, but smaller than a table tennis racket. I mean, it was. But he took it apart and basically decided that the ultraviolet was a joke and it's just a blue light. The only problem with that is, like I'm seeing here now, on the whole, it's not attracting the bitey, mosquito-y, bitey fly type ones. It's attracting kind of everything, including moths and other things that are just going to fly into it and burst into flames, but they were never going to annoy you or bother you. When was the last time that a moth or a daddy longlegs bit you and caused any kind of issue? I mean, it's not a thing, is it? It's. But yeah, no, it just its mere appearance in the tent made a difference and slashed the number of the welts that you get from mosquitoes. They tend to not just bite you once; they'll bite you in a line, or their injection goes on and your body reacts. It's your immune system overreacting that causes the welts, but they're still itchy and unpleasant, whatever they are. So if you can kill them before they get to you, it's for the good. So that was Roger. We're 3 degrees warmer than there. I'd do a check now because it might have cooled down in the last half an hour, I guess. But no, it still says 30. Oh, it also says no network connection. Why does it say that? Hold on. Oh, I've got to be careful here, folks. I've got to be careful. My phone is the Wi-Fi hotspot. The hotspot's turned off. Why did it do that? Hold on. I could have been lying to you. I didn't realise it wasn't updated. When was that from? 2323. What the? So you are connected. That's. It said no Wi-Fi connection, and yet it was up to date, and yet the phone said that it wasn't a Wi-Fi hotspot. It's correct. It's still 30 degrees right now. As of right now, 30 degrees. It will drop down to. No, hold on. Because what it's showing me says 1800. I don't know. This will be reversed, so it won't make any sense to you anyway. Can you see the big number at the top that says 30 degrees? I know it's all going to be reversed and what have you. Okay. Can you see there's a time just here somewhere that's now? That's now's time. It's going to be backwards and it's going to be a pain in the arse. But the hour by hour that says 30, that's from 6 o'clock this evening, 1800 hours. I don't get it. Okay, now it's stopped lying. Okay, folks, it's 27 degrees, not 30. So, Roger, I'm not 3 degrees warmer than you, mate. I am the same as you. The low overnight will be 24, as we said previously, and tomorrow will be sunny with a high of 32. Something went wonky with the weather app there and with the internet. I do apologise for the misinformation, which seems to be a running theme at the minute. I'm not going to comment too much on that tonight. I'm going to have to do a separate video about last Sunday's live stream, where I got so many things wrong. And I need to get back to my own universe, folks. I'm in a parallel universe where everything's been changed. Things that used to be a certain way were never that way, allegedly. I've been Mandela affected. Or I'm a slider and I'm in a parallel universe. Me and Quinn Mallory, if anybody gets the reference, if you've seen the show. Sliders, it's a good program. But I'm not going to go into all of the ins and outs of what I got wrong here. I'm going to do a separate video on it, I think, because I need to do some research about what I got wrong and how I got it so wrong. Yeah. No. Rob, if you follow the comments on Sundays, like, I think it's either Sunday or Monday, wasn't it? Whatever day it was that I did a live stream, a TrampCast Hangout like this. Rob Ryan has picked me apart on everything that I got wrong, as he does. He fact-checked me to shit and comments whenever I'm either slightly off or woefully off. And he's basically said it's the worst podcast ever, so many errors. And he's probably not wrong. It's my worst podcast. Now, it was 5.5 hours, and I've got about 3 or 4 things wrong. But some of them did take up like a half-hour slot in the show. If it's a show, I don't even know whether we use that word. But it's interesting, and I obviously have to eat some humble pie and research how I got some of them so wrong. What misled me, or I honestly, some of the things I categorically remembered seeing documentaries about, or I remember reading in the Bible, and now it was never there, it was never that, it was never what I said it was. I need to get back to my own universe, folks. I don't know how this happened. Large Hadron Collider. Got to be. Fucking bastards at CERN. What have they done? I need to get back to my own parallel universe where things are back how I remember them. This isn't the time and the place. I am going to do a separate video on it. But Josie's headed over here in 9 days. Yeah, see you soon. Oh, it's jumped backwards. 9 days, there we go. Bugs flying in from overseas, getting a warm welcome. They're getting a very, very warm welcome, yeah. Barcelona airport closed due to rain. I read about a Gota Fria that was due inbound at some point. They've rebranded Gota Fria, which translates literally as cold drop. They've rebranded to Dana. I can't remember, it's an acronym and I don't remember what it stands for. But it's the same thing. It's when the temperature drops suddenly, the atmosphere can't hold the moisture anymore, and it all comes down in a big old thunderstorm. Plus you've got the cool air mixing with warm air, giving you friction and thunderstorms. Yeah, friction, thunderstorms, and a lot of rain all at once. They're quite deadly. They joke the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane, but when it falls, it falls. Kids in Spain kind of rehearse, whereas in America they rehearse for well, they used to rehearse for like duck and dive under the table and what have you for nuclear blasts, and now they rehearse for lockdowns because of school shootings. In Spain they kind of rehearse running inside because it's raining. It gets so dangerous. Hey, everybody in, it's spitting, as Peter Kay used to joke. Oh, look at this. We've got another one here, folks. Let's see whether you can see this. Can you see the fly on the... I don't know if this one's dead or if he's just sitting there close but not quite. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's just on it but not... He doesn't look like he's been fried. Don't know. I wish him well. Go away, friend. Get away. Go, go, go. See if you can avoid it. I can't. I couldn't zoom back out. Forecast says 21 here. Oh man, I wish we could get down to 21 at some point. I'm waiting for the day that we drop below 20 and can declare these tropical nights over. It's been, it hasn't dropped below 20 degrees since, it must have been the middle of May when we entered the tropical nights phase, and we haven't left it since, and we've had some horrendous hot days. 38 feels like 44. The fuck is that about? That's still not him. That's not this one. Do you think I can grab him by the wings and pull him away? Oh, if he is in contact with the electrics, I might get a... This might get spicy. Oh, what do I do? I'm going to see if I can get him away without plucking his wings off. I want to take the whole fly away. I did. Oh, there's another one there. He looks a bit more precarious. I can't sit here rescuing flies all night, can I? I could just turn it off, maybe. If it's not getting the right flies... Nope! It got one just as I turned it off. I don't believe it's getting mosquitoes or anything that would be detrimental. I think it's getting other flies that are harmless, and that's what's the fucking point of that? I don't want to bring death and destruction upon the world just for the sake of it. I want to kill the ones that were going to eat me. I guess if I sit here now and suddenly start itching around my ankles or something, then we'll know I need to turn the tennis racket back on. But I'm not... What's the phrase? I am become death, destroyer of flies. No. There's no need for it. It's amazing how many of them are here and are flying into it. But I just don't get the sense that they were the ones that were going to bother me at all. So I've turned it off. Let the tropical temperatures stay till the beginning of October. Thunderstorms started here last night, but only light rain. Still waiting for summer heat to end. Yeah, I'm a little bit torn on it, because yeah, that's Valencia, isn't it, Ryan? Yeah. Okay, Roger's off to bed. That was 23:35. 6 minutes ago. Sorry, mate. I probably didn't respond in a timely manner. Barcelona closed for a couple of hours because of the rain. That's incredible, isn't it? But Josie wants the warm weather to stay for another few days till she gets here. Can't remember how many days did you say? 9 days. So a week. So you get here on like the Monday or the Tuesday, maybe the Monday. Okay, folks. How, have we all had a good week? What kind of week? Everyone's been asking me how I am and how Tina is and everything. How are you guys doing? What kind of weeks have we had? What have you had? Good weeks? Bad weeks? Maybe maybe give us a reminder where you're at and what's the weather been like where you are. What's the temperatures been like? 7th of September till 10th of October. Okay, that's you guys have a good 4 or 5 weeks there. Yeah, that's good. That's a good holiday. Nice. Ryan's waiting on the summer heat to end. Yeah. I guess through the day I feel the same. But then at night, I'm okay. The temperature now, I'm okay with. If it could be this temperature all day, even in the sun, like I was saying earlier about how much I've been trying to stay out of the sun. I've literally kept my back to the sun as much as possible. Hey, look at my nose, it's white here. It's fuck off scarlet here. And we're a kind of I guess a brownish up here. And then the eyes are, I don't know why the eyes are so light. Why is it white around my eyes? Because I haven't been sitting out with the glasses on. The glasses have been up on top. So I don't know what that's. County Durham. Bad rain the past few days, and it's got a lot colder just the past few days. Oh, sorry to hear that, Michael. Yeah, I mean, the UK doesn't get a long summer, does it? I mean, let's face it, typically you don't get a long summer. And then when you do get a heat wave, it's excruciating because of the humidity. It's not that it's hot, but it feels hot usually because of the stupid amount of moisture in the air. Hold on, it's just jumped back on me again. Where am I? I'm back to thunderstorms and Barcelona airport. There's Michael, yeah, okay. Ryan met an old friend this week who he'd lost contact with for 8 years. That's nice. It's always nice to re-establish old friendships. And if it's a good friendship, it doesn't take much. You quickly settle into the old patterns. You don't have to work at it too much. It quickly becomes like you've never been apart. End of summer lull. I mean, we always used to treat like the August bank holiday weekend, which was usually somewhere close to the 28th. Yeah, we used to treat that as the end of summer because kids are back to school September the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whenever the Monday is closest after that. Yeah, I guess that's summer over for most people in Britain. Spain's a little bit different. You don't get that. At some point halfway through September there'll be a storm and the temperature will drop somewhere between 5 and 10 degrees for a day or two. It'll climb back 4 or 5 degrees after, but you notice that it hasn't gone back to where it was, and that's kind of your signal that the majority of summer, the summer's over. You don't really get 4 seasons in Spain. There's really only 2. It's either summer or it's winter. And it's only winter for 2, maybe 3 months. There's no real in-betweeny. The only thing that happens different in winter, you get days that are just as hot. I've sat outside Tweeties in the past, back in the before times, before I was homeless. I sat outside Tweeties where I was today, and it's hit 30 degrees 2 days before Christmas. The only difference is the length of the day. It'll maybe be hot between 11 and 3. Still warm a couple of hours either side, but 11 while 3 in winter, instead of being crazy hot from like fucking 10 while 7. That's the only difference is the length of the day rather than how hot it gets. You don't get the crazy, it's not going to hit 38 degrees in December, but it will hit 30 and above quite often. So yeah, it's a winter's day in Spain is like the best English summer's day or British summer's day. Just is. But you'll only get a few hours of it. Anybody else want to tell us where are you and how was the weather and what kind of week have you had? I'm going to do the thing in case chat's frozen. Oh, I also didn't. Do you know what I also did? I was stuck in bloody top chat rather than live chat, wasn't I? So I'm going to go top chat and then back to live chat. Okay, doesn't look like I've missed much. 24 degrees in Amsterdam, 24 grados in Amsterdam. That's nice without being over the top. Yeah, that's nice. Thunderstorm started. Yeah, I saw that. There was Roger leaving. Okay, folks. We're doing well on the thumbs up today. I really appreciate that. The record is still 37. We've not got anywhere near that. But that was from like a 4 or 5 hour stream. We're only... Is it true that I'm only an hour and a quarter in? That's good. That's good. We are losing audience already though. We're losing people. The numbers are dropping. I'm boring you all already. I started this stream today with no real topics planned. I haven't read up on any science news. There's some stuff going off on the internet. A lot of it is tied to what's going on in Britain and raise the flag and similar. I don't really want to get in there again because I kind of waded into that in one of the recent streams anyway, and I don't intend this channel to be too political in that way. Where are we going, babe? Oh, bum shuffled over for a water. So no, I'm not gonna get all political tonight if I can avoid it. Some of you try and drag me there anyway, but no real. I will say that my mate Joby is in the field still. The guy, he arrived on Sunday. He'd had a bit of an issue down where he was staying to the south of Torrevieja. He lived in the field here with me for 3 months previously and has kept in touch and visited periodically when he's been around. He went on a Camino. He went on a pilgrimage and a journey around the southern tip of Spain a while back. And when he got back, the place where he'd been living, the guy he'd been living there with has invited some people in, who invited some other people, who invited a bunch of crackheads, a bunch of raging druggies. They stole his phone and some money, and now it appears they're besmirching his name in the area, so he's come back up this way for a while. And I've enjoyed sitting out with him. We have a morning coffee somewhere between 9:30 and 11. We'll sit out and have coffee. Maybe we'll have an afternoon coffee, or maybe we'll have a beer later in the day. He's not as big a drinker as I am. He's okay just to have one can every now and again. Okay. So, But it's been enjoyable having him around again, and I'm just a little bit concerned that people are seeing multiple of us here in the field. It could bring us some unwanted attention from the authorities. What else has happened this week? The lady was working. Not Josie. Sanja, the Danish lady, was working on the wheels for Tina. So we got the wheels back properly, I think the day before yesterday. That's been it, folks. That's the getting the wheels, a few small walks, today's big walk off to Tweety's, and me splurging a little bit with the money that Anthony gave me on Tweety's, on fish and chips, because Friday, British tradition, folks. Where are we if we don't have our traditions, as I've said often on this channel? It's why I always finish with a fixed, from Tina and from me, Delta Mike, out. It's a silly little catchphrase, it's a silly little routine, but you gotta have them, you gotta have your little traditions. Oh, Josie. Next week, packing suitcases. It's jumped. Next week, packing suitcases and charging laptops, so we're ready next Sunday. Okay, maybe stupid question. Did you finally read your papers from the court? No, I never did. A little bit risky, a little bit dangerous, a little bit silly. Too chicken, I didn't get there. I did not. So far, no harm done. Famous last words. I fully expect that at some point I'll be able to challenge the whole thing. Having a court case in absentia while I'm fucking present, while I'm here, is just the most ridiculous thing ever. I'm at the address on the court papers as my last known address. So how they had a trial without me, that will get overturned. You can't do that. You cannot do a trial in absentia when the guy's at the address that you know. Coward. I am. Yeah, I'll admit that. I just can't face the truth. I can't face whatever their decision was. It's all a joke to me anyway, if I'm honest. It's not funny joke. It's a ridiculous situation joke. They had a trial in my absence while I'm at the address that they know about. They just forgot to come looking for me and give me the paperwork. What the fuck's that about? You can't do that. That's ridiculous. You can't do that. If I'd run away to England and they didn't know where I was and they had a trial in my absence, that's a thing. That's allowable. That's procedure. But the paperwork has an address. The man in the big blue tent in the field at Cala de la Thora. In Spanish, all of it. But I'm at the address that's listed on the paperwork. They just didn't give me the paperwork and invite me to my trial. You can't do that. You can't have a trial in absentia while the guy's fucking present. That's not what in absentia means. It's ridiculous. So whatever they decided, however ridiculous, whatever conclusion they came to, I'm going to have overturned, thrown out, and we're going to have a proper fucking trial one day. I have the right to face my accusers. Most ridiculous thing I've ever fucking heard. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that. that they do here if you do not respond. Yeah, but to not respond, you have to have at least been sent the paperwork. I was never given that paperwork. When the police here, when they want to have a trial here, they will mail you the paperwork 1 month in advance. A few days before the court case, the police will come and make you sign a document to say, yes, I intend to be in court. And if they haven't got that signature to prove that you've been given the papers and that you intend to be there, if they haven't got that, then there's no further punishment when you don't attend. They have to prove that they've served you the papers. Well, they've never served me the fucking papers. They've gone and had a court case without me while I'm at the address on the documents. Is Tina used to her wheels? Yes. We were a little shaky to begin with and a little bit wobbly. We had one accident where it tipped over and she came out of it. But we went on a long walk to Tweety's for fish and chips. We had the fish and chips and then we had a long walk back and just the one minor, I don't know if you could call it a minor accident. It was it's a fairly big deal really, the way it tipped over and tipped her out. Partly my fault. But partly she just has to get used to keeping her balance forward. Otherwise she's going to tip the chariot over. But she did okay. She did well for a first long journey. There'll be an issue of building up muscles and stamina, building up stamina so she can keep going longer. There'll be an issue with that. There's an issue of learning to go wide around obstacles so that the wheels don't get caught on lampposts and trees and things. But yeah, the learning process. She needs a learning process. It can take a while, like you say. But I think she enjoyed it overall. Now, after she had the accident and the whole thing fell over and fell on her, and I had to take her out of it. She did fight me when I was trying to put her back into it. But, you know, she'd had a shock. She'd just had an accident. But sometimes you just have to get back on the bike, as we say in England. You just have to get up and get back on the horse or get back on the bike. In this case, get back in the chariot. I think she was happy by the end. She seemed quite smiley as we got home. So yeah, went well. It went okay, and I got a nice fish and chip meal out of it. So yeah, that was good. Coward, eh? Calling me a coward. I guess I am. I can't deny it. It's the apprehension, that the tension of looking at the outcome at the paperwork, but also knowing that whatever outcome they've come to is probably bullshit, because I can probably get the whole case thrown out. Trial in absentia while I'm here at the address, and they never delivered any paperwork. They didn't tell me there was going to be a court case. 2.5 months for them to deliver the result. Why 2.5 months? They had my phone number, they had my email address, they had my actual physical location. They could have come and got me at any time, or brought me paperwork, or done whatever they needed to do. It's ridiculous. The Spanish love their bureaucracy, but they are so bad at it. I'd rather be, when it comes to bureaucracy, I'd rather be in Germany. They love their bureaucracy, but they're really good and efficient at it. Spain, not. India too, paperwork for days. Yeah. Some countries are just like that. They'll build up a bureaucratic process and then deliberately pad it out because they think it makes more work for more people. The inefficiencies that they deliberately build in. Yeah. It's like when my friend Ismo went to get his NIE number, which that's like the Spanish tax number for foreigners. Walks in, asks him what paperwork do I need, and instead of giving him a form with a pre-written list of what 4 pieces of paper they need, they write down 4. He goes away, comes back a couple of days later with those 4 pieces of paper that they said on the that they wrote. But because it's not a pre-printed list, it's not official, it's not guaranteed to be correct, it's wrong. 2 of those pieces of paper that they identified, 2 of the things they said to bring, you don't need for your NIE, and there were 2 others that he should have brought, but that he didn't because they'd not put them in the list. If they'd had a pre-printed checklist to give him to take away, he could have ticked the boxes, bring the 4 right, correct pieces of... No. Multiple journeys backwards. And what do I need? Here they are. No, that's wrong. Come back with this. No, that one's still wrong. You need this other thing instead. 3, 4, 5 bloody visits for what should have been 2. What do I need? Here's a list. Okay, I brought the list and here's the documents that the list says. That would have been efficient. But that wouldn't have needed somebody to be employed for 5 different visits. That would have only been 2 visits, not 5. It's a conspiracy theory, but it's one that I wholeheartedly believe. They love their bureaucracy, but they're really bad at it, and I think it's deliberate. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see if there's anybody... Hold on. Back to live chat. Live chat, folks, you don't want to be in top chat. Top chat filters the messages, and about a quarter or a fifth of all messages posted you'll never see. So I'll be talking to people and answering comments that you can't even... that you have no awareness of. Now, if we've got any lurkers out there, and I think we have, because there's only, I think, 2 people talking to me in chat. Why are you lurking? Are you new here? Are you just wondering what's happening? You've seen the Talk to a Tramp kind of TrampCast headline, and you've just dropped in and you're wondering who, the what, the when, the... I am a homeless guy. En español, un hombre sin techo, or un hombre sin hogar. Sin hogar means homeless, but you might be, you don't have a home of your own, but you might be in some kind of hostel or accommodation or staying with a friend. Sin techo is this, living in a field. I am homeless, I am living in a field. I'm in Spain. I don't speak Spanish much. I can sort of kind of read it-ish. Not to a level, Josie, not to a level where I would be comfortable engaging in reading legal documents and deciding on a way forward based on my reading of those documents. This is why we have lawyers. You're not even allowed to use Google Translate for that sort of stuff within courts and things. So we got to be careful with the law and reading the language. But I am a homeless guy. I am living in a field in Spain. I do have some legal difficulties. I used to have fairly regular interactions with the police. That really is a very noisy way of transporting one person from A to B. I know a lot of people don't like these stand-up electric scooters. But as a way of getting one person from A to B, they're a damn sight less inconvenient for everybody else around than that hairdryer is. Jesus. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. All that noise just for one person to move from A to B. The electric scooters are silent. Now, if they're driven or ridden irresponsibly, they're dangerous. But here in Torrevieja, I was asking Joby this because he's travelled around. I said he went on a Camino, a kind of a pilgrimage or a pilgrim's journey, and a pilgrim's progress, you might say. He went on his travel and he saw a lot fewer of these electric scooters around other parts of Spain than you do here in Torrevieja. I think Torrevieja have been really lenient with these things over the years, and I'll be honest, I don't mind it that much. The roads are quite wide. They almost all have a like an extra lane at the side for bins and for parking and for whatever. So the people on the scooters can always be off the official roadway. That they're, you know, if another car comes behind them and wants to pass, they can easily just step off the road, as it were, but keep going. They're from like a pedestrian's point of view, or just a guy sat in a field. I mean, that motorbike, to move one person from there to there, and everywhere he goes all day, there's hundreds of people listening to him at any one fucking moment. And we've got people going past now on electric scooters, and you if it wasn't for the lights, you wouldn't know they were there. Far preferable. Probably depends how far you're going, because the motorbike guy sat down and the people on the scooters are stood up. You know, you want to go 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers standing up, you're probably all right. You want to go 150 miles or 200 kilometers, you probably want to sit down. But I don't know. How is my Spanish, asks Mr. S. My Spanish is woeful, my friend. I can read it. I can read a book and follow the plot and know what's happening. I won't get everything perfect, but I'm all right. Me putting sentences together in Spanish is almost impossible. My translation goes this way, not that way. Hearing it when it's spoken, no. They speak too fast. The men often have these really deep, gravelly voices, and I can listen to a whole sentence, and if I heard a single word in the sentence, it's a bloody miracle. You've also got the fact that some of the older men, the older blokes around here, aren't even speaking what we would call Spanish, Castellano. They might be speaking one of the other variants, which they're not just variations on a theme. Some of them are totally different fucking languages. I can listen to them for an hour and not hear a single word that I recognise. Yeah. Tom really likes the electric scooters. Thinks they're a really cool invention. Bit on the dangerous side, even with modest use. I guess. I mean, it depends on the other road users around you, doesn't it? I guess all of these things do. Because you're probably the most vulnerable road user, standing up on something, zipping along at, I don't know, 10 or 15 kilometers an hour. So you're traveling at speed, stood up, and yeah, you're vulnerable to being hit by by cars from the side, from behind, from whatever, and pedestrians just stepping off a footpath right in front of you. Maybe that pushes you out and into proper real traffic and under a bin wagon or a bus or something. I don't know. I don't know. From the point of view of noise pollution as they go past, these people are going past all the time here on the scooters, and unless they're shouting at each other, you wouldn't know they're there. Whereas that motorbike that went past before, I've got no idea whether that's even allowed. All that noise just for one guy to zip along, probably slower than some of the scooters are going past. Karen's in the house. Hello, Karen. Electric scooter drivers are absolute knobheads. Jumps in Karen with a well considered, thoughtful post. Tell it how it is. Tell us what you really think. Don't hold back. Some people really like to annoy other people. Yeah. Where Karen is, they're crazy. I think here they seem quite respectable and quite alright. We've even got this guy goes past in like a leather jacket and the white helmet. If you watched Top Gear back in the day with the Stig, with the big white helmet, he looks like that. And he's obviously taking the safety precautions, as well as the helmet. He's wearing kind of motorbike leathers or whatever, so that if he comes off, he's not. I mean, you see some of them that are just in a bikini, and you think, you come off that at speed, you're going to really regret it. We do get the ones where you get 2 or 3 people on one scooter, or even worse, you get 2 people and they're straddling 2 scooters. You know, young people, they do crazy things sometimes. I did crazy things when I was young. I tried not to be too foolish, but I did some crazy things. And I guess they do as well. Oh, excuse me, folks. This is not going to be a long one, I don't think. I don't know why I am, but I'm quite tired. I guess my afternoon nap was interrupted by her ladyship a few times. She'd expressed a preference of coming outside and being under her bush here, and I was inside watching videos and trying to have a little bit of a snooze. But every time anybody walked past, she was barking at them. So she wakes me up and I'm having to shout, Tina, shush, shush, it's just the nice people walking past and similar. Come out every now and again and check that she hasn't knocked her water over and that she's still got water. And every 3 or 4 hours walk her a little bit in case she needs a pee and a poo. That was about it really, but she just kept waking me up every time I tried to have my little afternoon nap. I like to fall asleep listening to those crappy AI sci-fi stories. Because if I fall asleep halfway through, there's no harm done. I just rewind to where I remember and listen to the end again. But yeah. Oh, fuck. I've gone now. I've gone. I'm probably not going to be able to go much longer. I'll try and stick with you until the top of 2 hours. We're on 1 hour 38. It says. I don't know if that's true, and I can't quite work it out from where we are time-wise. Did I start at 10:30? I did. So yeah, about 1 hour 39. Yeah. So yeah. I haven't really got much more to say. It's been a different kind of week having Joby here. There's always the element of, well, it's not so much doing things on other people's timelines, but yeah, I mean, if you've agreed, yeah, we'll have coffee in the morning, then you've got to get out of your pit and come and have coffee in the morning. Whereas living on your own, you come out when you feel like it. If you don't feel like it yet and you want to give it another hour, you give it another hour. But if you've set a time, or even if you've just set a general, what's the word? Has somebody done something? Why is my phone beeping at me? And why did I not tell it to do silent mode? Oh, Terry. Terry. Ah, we're gonna have words. Thank you, but we're gonna have words. Where was I? Other people's timeline. Not so much other people's timelines. That's overstating it. It's just different having someone here with me in the field again. And then we had the, I kind of guess the luxury of Anthony turning up for a couple of mornings. He was only in Spain for, I'm guessing, like 36 hours, or just over. Certainly less than 48. And he arrived one evening, I'm guessing, and he came first thing the next morning and brought me like well, a full breakfast butties, I'll call them. There's the bacon, egg, black pudding, white pudding, whatever, all on the sandwiches. He didn't know Jovi was here at that point, but he also brought me a crate of beer. Oh, cold as well. He'd had it in the freezer. In fact, he'd over frozen it at one point, he says. But no, it was nice and ice cold. But breakfast and ice cold beer creates a dilemma for me, because you don't want to let the ice cold go to waste. Beer's okay, but when it's kind of tepid and warm and gets that slightly acrid aftertaste, it's not nice. Cold beer, you've got to have that while it's cold, haven't you? And it's not going to stay cold forever. So you try and hang on a little bit later than just breakfast, but by 11 you're chomping at the bit to enjoy the cold of the cold beer. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. And then he came the second morning that he was leaving not long after. He was leaving just a few hours after, but he's got to go back to his apartment and kind of clean up. Yeah, but he's also got some family stuff going on, family medical stuff that's putting pressure on him. So to even come around here both mornings is incredible. So cheers to Anthony for that. Cheers, mate. I appreciate you. And I hope everything else works out. I don't want to say too much in public, but yeah, I hope everything else works out over the coming weeks and months, I guess it's going to be. Mind your own business, folks. Talking to a friend. Talking in private, in public. Trying to. Have I missed anything? Is there any more comments? Worst Spanish accent. Oh, it's jumped. Oh, Karen, and the frozen. I forgot about the 6-litre bottle fitting in the freezer. We knew. I'm not gonna look. I was reading Karen saying we nearly knocked off 2 girls on one scooter who came straight out in front of us across a one-way street. Missed them by an inch. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's the crazy. Yeah. All the hate from people under 25 on scooters. Young people make bad decisions sometimes. Let's just say that. Ryan thinks they look ridiculous standing up on scooters. You don't hear them come. Most people on it are stupid, says Josie. I don't know. I guess I don't see too much in the way of crazy. But then I'm on a quiet stretch of what should be the busiest road in town. This is, in England you would call this the promenade, although it has bent away from the seafront. This is the road nearest the sea. It's just set back a little bit at this point, and is a quieter stretch than most other stretches are. Now we get the people coming home from clubs at 4 in the morning and stuff that are on them and that are shouting at each other and what have you, but what damage are you going to do at 4 in the morning? I don't know. I guess in the centre of town you've got more traffic, more going on, more can go wrong. Oh, I guess a crazy decision there would have more consequences than on this quieter stretch here. So I've maybe got a warped or distorted sense of the situation. Which is why I asked Josie what it was like where Joby. I got my Jobies and my Josies mixed up. Which is why I asked Joby what it was like everywhere else, and he said you didn't see them as much everywhere else. That Torrevieja seems to be more lenient with it than other places. Which I guess, you know, it's a fair enough observation. Ein boterham met kaas. Een is boterham met is with kaas. No idea. The Dutch are talking amongst themselves. Here in the Netherlands we have a saying, 1 glass of beer is the same as 2 slices of bread. That's an interesting phrase. It used to be that beer was more like a soup and was more like a meal. If that's where we're going, I have no idea. I don't drive, this is true. I'm not a drivist. Somebody who was that was asking what the road's called. It is Avenida Alfredo Nobel. It is the promenade. It is the big. I do believe it will be Alfredo Nobel because they do have a tendency of translating names. I was talking the other day about how Queen Elizabeth was La Reina Isabella. Isabel? What Isabella? They translate Elizabeth is Isabel. Prince Henry is Principe Enrique. And Prince William, Principe Guillermo. Guillermo? That sounds French. No, French would be Guillaume. So yeah, it is Guillermo. They translate names. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. King Juan Carlos, you would have never seen in a British headline King John Charles. I mean, no. If you saw him in the street, you'd have to call him Juan Carlos to get him to turn his head. He's not going to know who John Charles is. And Queen Elizabeth wouldn't have known who Isabel was, or Isabella. We never do that in Britain. We never translate names. Not that I remember ever seeing, ever. Someone who's French who's called Jacques. We don't call him Jack. Or John, which would be probably a more direct translation. What with Jack being a nickname for John somehow. We never do that. It strikes me as really out of place hearing a name translated. Might just be a British thing that we just don't do and everybody else in the world does. I don't know. I've just never, in my 57 years, the only time I ever saw it was when we were on honeymoon in Tunisia, and someone did the same. They did the same thing, translating Queen Elizabeth to Isabel. We had no idea. We were lost. We had no idea what he was talking about. We're correcting him and telling him he's, he's wrong. Okay, the Dutch were busy talking amongst themselves there for a while, but what's the best beach in Torrevieja? Ryan liked it down Lasagna, which isn't really Torrevieja, but best. Mil Palmeiras, 1,000 Pines, or however that would be translated. Oh guys, my beer it's warm and flat. I've eked it out too long. Okay folks, where are we? It's Friday night. We're coming up on 2 hours soon. Terry sent some money, that's naughty. Oh. One wrong click now and I'm knackered. Okay, we managed. Warm beer called cat pie. We would have gone with cat piss maybe. I think that's where you're probably going. Yeah, it's not pleasant when it's that warm. At the end of this, yeah, there we go. Cat urine, yeah, cat piss. Okay, double S, but yeah, okay, in English anyway. I'm probably gonna It's so noisy to transport one person. Yeah, I'm probably going to knock it on the head in about 7 minutes, folks. So if you've got any final questions, any final thoughts, I'm going to take her ladyship inside, take her water. What I've got, it took me about 15 minutes to get set up out here. So I've got some work to do to deconstruct it all and get it all back in afterwards. She'll want a final walk at the end of the night as well, no doubt. I've got to check I've still got her belt. I have. Okay, that's good. Playa Vista Mar. Trand tent. Don't know what that is. It's lovely and cool tonight, says Karen. I'm okay with this temperature. What did we decide it was? We decided it wasn't 30. The app was lying to me, wasn't it? Was it 27 in the end? See, my tablet actually feels cold to the touch, the back. All day long, it was too hot to bloody touch. We're down to 26 degrees and headed down to 24 overnight. And I'm liking it. Now, an Englishman who thinks that 26 is nice and cool, that's crazy. That would be the hottest day of the year most years in Britain. And this is like bloody midnight in Spain. That's crazy. I can't get over how red my face. Look, and I take the glasses off. I look like I've been wearing goggles or sunglasses, and I haven't. I guess it's just the angle of the sun, because the sun's directly overhead. It hits the cheek and in particular the nose, but it's caught the forehead as well. I try to keep my back to it as much as possible. It's crazy. The white around the eyes is just freaking me out. And it's not because I was wearing glasses, because if I'm not reading something, they're on the top of my head. I only wear them with you guys because I have to be able to see the screen. When I point and touch at the screen, I have to actually hit the phone and not miss. If I didn't have the glasses on, Mr. Magoo over here. Lovely two-tacked bike. I go off and hear you all. I go off, see and hear you all. Lovely two-tacked. I'm lost. The name is TrampCast. Don't know what that is. What was Tom saying? That's a fair long avenida. How am I to find you? You type into Google Maps Delta Mike Torrevieja and it will drop a pin right on this field for you. Thanks to Donegal Overlanding, a bloke called Richard who added me to Google Maps apparently. Failing that, Grand Bazaar El Zoco and the Repsol Garage. Yeah. If you need me to get more specific, you can send us an email and I'll drop a pin on a map or give a WhatsApp. I can open up my location either on WhatsApp or on Messenger if you need guiding in. But yeah, the promenade in any town, the coast road's always a big road, isn't it? People like to have roads that run by the sea, at the seaside. It's a thing. Where's Tom with not to? Where I'm living is a big country. Kids don't rush to get cars. They've already been driving their moped, ATV, that's all-terrain vehicle. That's a four-wheel drive thing, off-road four-wheeler with a roof for 2 years. Yeah, okay. And it jumped. Here we go. Okay, then not to mention tractors. I'm with you. I know where that is now, yeah. It's perfect for me now. I don't want any cooler, says Karen. That's because when you were in England, you were cold all the time, yeah. You can get tanned in the shade. My mum is so brown. Yeah, this is true. Tell her to be careful. When she gets back to England, they'll think she's one of the boat people. Oh, I can't keep track of chat because it keeps jumping on me. Glasses block UV. Yeah. Well, that's what I figured. If I'd had them on, that would have stopped sun from burning. But I haven't. I don't wear them. One of these insects just dropped out of the sky again. Freaks me out when something just lands with a bang. Yeah, glasses do block UV, but I don't wear them through the day. If my glasses have been blocking UV, then I'll have a nice patch of my head here that's not got any sunburn on it. But I don't sit here wearing glasses all day. Only when I'm talking with you guys because I need to be able to read chat and not be Mr. Magoo. Terry's out. Well, thank you, Terry, but I'm going to be in touch. She's going back on the boat to get free accommodation, food and money. Don't forget the iPhone or top-end Samsung. Politics again. I wasn't covering that topic again. You see, YouTube really don't want me covering that particular topic, so they disconnected me. So I was just saying I'm not covering that topic again, the boat people and free iPhone. I think I ranted on about it enough the other day, and I am now officially a far-right Nazi. As well as being a transphobe, a racist, transphobic, homophobic. Give me the rest of the ists and phobes, I can't remember them. Have I done transphobe yet? I'm not sure whether I did. I claim them all. I claim them all. Also getting a job delivering food from the hotel kitchen. Yeah, there you go. On the Deliveroo job, you got to get your push bike. Tell her she's got to get a push bike so she can do a Deliveroo or a Just Eat job. On someone else's stolen ID. She's officially John Smith. On an e-bike, yeah, of course. She's too old to pedal. I mean, we don't expect the world, you know what I mean? We're not going to. This isn't slave labour. Oh, can I even say slave? Can we even say slave labour nowadays? Sure. I said it the other day, didn't I, about the black girl that was cleaning over the way. I say all the wrong things. I do all the bad words, folks. Where's Steve? Hold on, Steve. Is the context to that, or are you just talking about the... 1500 watt. Oh, 1500 kilowatts is a lot. 1.5 megawatts. That'd be going at some. 1500 watts or 1.5 kilowatts maybe, depending on context, which I don't think I've got. Let me check that I'm not on. I am on live chat rather than top chat, which is where everybody should be. I was finishing before, wasn't I? What happened to that? What happened to me finishing on the 2-hour mark? I guess we're not doing that. Am I keeping going for a little bit more? I'll need topics. And maybe a little extra thumbs up or two. We're only 12 or 13 away from the record, folks. I've no idea what we're going to talk about, other than these insects. It is that little bit cooler, isn't it? Do you know what's made the real difference the last few days? It is the drop in humidity. It isn't actually technically that much cooler. It just feels so much cooler because your body can actually get the heat away. The humidity, we're so cloy for, which were the 3 cloudy days? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think were the worst. It was oppressive. It was, I think we were on 80 or 90% humidity at times, which is crazy for summer. Yeah, I had the fan on in the tent just basically all day, and at times it wasn't. I turned it off at times because I couldn't feel it. It wasn't making any difference. When you're lying there, you've got a layer of sweat over you, like your arms and your legs. You can look and literally see that they're wet, and the fan rotates and blows right towards you, and you don't get any evaporative cooling kind of feeling. What's the bloody point of it? I just pick up a rag and wipe myself down, towel myself dry again. Oh, it's crazy. And I did a post one day, didn't I? I think it was a Twitter post. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was the best part of 30 degrees. 30 or 29, maybe at 5 in the morning. That's no good. What am I going to do with that? How am I meant to sleep? And then I've got a hot dog. Then I've got a dog who's lovely and warm, wanting to cuddle up to me on the bed. How am I meant to get cool and get any damn sleep? Just lay there. And a few mornings this week, fall asleep at 2 or 3 o'clock and wake up at 5. And you're just waiting for the day to start. And so you've woken up at 5 o'clock, and 3 hours later it's only 5:30. And another 4 hours later it's 6 o'clock. I mean, time is just moving so slowly. It's interminable. And now we're at the point where it's not even getting light until 7, which makes it feel even... You're waiting even longer for the bloody day to start. The first inklings of light are happening after 7. To me, that's like winter. That's winter in the UK when it's not getting light until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's that. It shouldn't be dark still at 7 in the morning in summer. What are you doing? We need to change the tilt of the planet, folks. It's not right. Something's not right. 7 o'clock and still dark. The garage over the road's opening. It started opening. For some reason, he's open even before 7. It must be just a really keen member of staff. But they've got the lights on under the whatever the cover's called, under the ceiling, under the... I haven't got the fucking vocabulary, but... And they say that swear words are for people with the bigger vocabulary. And I'm just swearing because I can't get the word. Canopy. There you go, there's a word. I got there in the end, a bit slow. I had to pad for time until I got there. But under the canopy, he's got his floodlights on at like 7:15 in the morning. It's the most eerie feeling that it's dark enough for them to be putting the wintertime floodlights on under the canopy at the Repsol garage. Now this drags me right back to when I first arrived in this field, which was any day now 3 years ago, or it was 3 years ago any day now. When was it? October the 10th I arrived in this field. It's about another month away, isn't it? 5 weeks, maybe 6 if you want to be pedantic. And yeah, his floodlights were a big part of my morning, letting me know that morning was about to happen. Because it flooded and everything was damaged, everything was broken, everything was lost. All my electronics were gone. No timepiece at all, no clock, no phone, no nothing. Knowing that his lights coming on meant 7 o'clock and that it'll soon be light, it'll soon be morning. But of course that was before I had shelters and tents and everything else that goes with it. Now I'm inside a darker plastic cover and I don't get the light in the same way as early. I'm not as open to the elements and as affected by the seasons, I guess. Just feels wrong, dark at 7. I mean, what's that about? What was that? Something moved. Not good. Don't know, folks. Where are we? Is there anything happening in chat? Is anyone talking to me? Karen? Yeah, I don't know what that was, Mr. S. I don't know, maybe 1.21 gigawatts. We can have the whole discussion about giga versus giga. It did used to be giga before computers became the big thing and we went with mega, giga, whatever. It did used to be pronounced giga. That's Back to the Future, isn't it? 1.21 gigawatts. That's the lightning strike for Marty McFly to get Back to the Future. Oh, the whole women and children first for the lifeboats. I do still believe that. I'm kind of old-fashioned when it comes to that stuff. I just am. Your average man will beat an average woman in a fist fight or an arm wrestle or a 100-meter race or a whatever else you want to go at. Men are generally better than women at putting up cupboards and shelves and whatever. Men put the bins out in 99% of households of mixed gender. Some things are women's things, some things are men's things. Some things, we're the chivalrous ones who protect the ladies. Our job is to be protector to keep harm away from the doorstep. Women's job is to nurture and raise children. In general, these are not absolutes, but in general, on average, women will do more of the cooking, men will take the bins out, men will trap and kill the spiders. Just is what it is. You can't deny reality. Women and children for the lifeboats, yeah. Especially if men have designed things so badly that there aren't enough fucking lifeboats for everybody. That was the big thing with the Titanic. There just weren't enough bloody lifeboats. Don't know what else to say, but yeah, from my point of view, I am. See, now this is right wing nowadays, isn't it? I am now a Nazi again. I would still offer my seat on a train or a bus to a woman or to a child. I just would. Especially a pregnant woman. Kind of goes without saying. I can't believe it's even a question. And yet for some reason it is a question. And I blame women for turning it into a question because of the whole we want equality, well now you've got it, throw it back in their face kind of attitude some people have. But no, we're the protectors. The providers and protect. I'm saying this as a, you know what I mean, as a non-productive member of society, a drain on society, a charity case. But the logic of my thoughts and my thought process still stand despite my personal circumstances. Men do men things, women do women things. In general, on average, you're free to do them, to not do them. Women are free to do the men things. Men are, if you want to go off and play with it, if you're a bloke and you want to play with Barbie dolls, fine, go for it. You want to play with My Little Pony, go off and do it. As long as you don't turn it into a sexual fetish, because that's just fucking weird. And they are out there, folks. The bronies, as they're called. That is a thing, unfortunately. There are men who don't just play with their My Little Ponies. I'm not even going there. I'm not even covering this topic. We're bordering on the furries and everything else that goes with that. And well, next thing you know, we'll be talking about pride marches and men doing helicopter and what have you in front of fucking 7-year-old children. And that's a whole other level of fucking perversion. Along with drag queen fucking story time or whatever that's called. Am I a Nazi enough yet? It's just a step to the right. And then another step to the right. I don't know, folks. I'm going to shut up because I will lose subscribers if I keep going that way. I've been putting off this last mouthful of this beer. I've been putting it off for about half an hour now. That's enough to make me not even open the next can. That missed. The other day I had a bin bag here and I hit it like 5 on the trot. Some of them were ricochets off the table, but literally 5, one after the other. Today I can't hit the broadside of a barn door when I'm stood at the handle. But I don't think I'm going to open that next can. I don't see the point. Not enjoying it, so why drink it? Thumbs up, folks, if I haven't gone far right enough yet. I can keep going. I can keep taking a step to the right. So that was Ryan asking about lifeboats and whether women and children should get lifeboats first. Karen says they don't allow them in the boat to begin with. This, if we're talking about the modern day boat people, yeah. Ryan assumed her mum, Karen's mum, was on a cruiser. No other context given. No. We were offering for her to, because she was brown, suntanned, but because she was brown, we were suggesting she might get on a migrant boat back to Britain. Okay, that was Karen just clarifying. Okay. I think we had a misunderstanding there somewhere. Okay, we're okay now. Ah, it jumped! Karen's going to bed. She got an early start tomorrow. Okay. How long ago was that? 47. Oh, just now. Not too long ago. You might still be here to catch me saying goodbye, Karen. Night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I think I'm going to call it quits soon, folks. I've 12 minutes to the hour, so I'll give you that. We'll do until on top of the hour. I was going to call it quits half an hour ago, nearly, but missed it. I missed time. You all right down there, sweetheart? For anyone joining late who hasn't seen her already, let's. Oh, they've moved the light switch. There she is. Hey, babe. You can say hello to the peoples. Tina? Say hello to the nice peoples. They've all been interested in you and your exploits with your wheels today. And your wheels are... Let me just point. Tina's wheels are over there, look, with the red sponge. There's the wheels and the harness. Don't know what all that movement is. All that movement like snow on the camera, that's not there. Dust in front of the lens, I'm guessing, but that's like bulky. Anyone, you've got to be a camera enthusiast probably to know what that is, but there's no movement here. There's nothing. I'm not seeing anything. There's not a load of dust moving in front of the light. And yet the camera's showing it. But there's Tina's wheels. We've had a good day with them today. We went off and had adventures. Just like Mr. Ben, we went through the magical door that leads to adventure. Tomorrow's Saturday, yeah? This is Friday night, folks. Friday night with a tramp. I should be raring to go, but I do keep yawning, and I think I caused that by saying I keep yawning, and that just caused that one. I caused my own yawn there. But I don't think I'm going to go much longer. Okay, Kevin. Kevin's in the house. Kevin from Dublin. Dublin, not Dublin. I put a G on the end there, mate. I had you multiplying by 2. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to go much longer, folks, because I don't know. Am I tired because I went for a walk? Because I got some exercise for once. I've had my first jaunt out of this field for, well, I don't know for how long. It's over a year, isn't it? The only exceptions were when Karen and co drove me to the courthouse and I had to walk home because my phone did a thing. I think that's it. Other than going 50 yards the other side of this road at the top of the field, I haven't been anywhere. Well, since they arrested me over a year ago. That is correct. I haven't been anywhere, folks, because I couldn't carry Tina far enough. And so now these wheels, they give us that element of freedom. It's going to take some getting used to. Also, there'll be limitations. So, for example, I doubt we'll ever be able to follow this road that way and go to the park at the top of the hill. Torre del Morro, the Moors Tower. Because of the incline of the hill, I don't see Tina, based on today and how we struggled with a relatively modest incline on hills, I don't see us tackling that ever. I don't think. So I don't think we can go that way. Maybe she can build up to it over time. I don't know. But we should be able to get to the park. Well, we definitely can get to the park because we went up the same hill as this other park, Aguas Nuevas, New Waters. Yeah, we were parallel to the park. We were just 1 block over. So we could definitely go to the park. So it's going to open up a whole world of possibilities that's going to take some getting used to. Probably more difficult going down a hill. We certainly discovered that at one point today. Especially as we didn't come perpendicular to the hill, we went diagonally. It was only it was a road bump, a raised zebra crossing. But we came off it on a diagonal and she went over. Now things like that either need me to get used to them and not do that, or it needs her to get used to balancing things. Maybe her chariot needs an adjustment. Maybe move her weight forward a little bit. I don't know. We'll work it out over time, folks. We'll work it out over time. But I was just wondering whether my tiredness is because I've suddenly, it sounds silly, I've maybe walked a kilometre that way and a kilometre back. But why else am I so tired? That's psychological. As soon as I mention tiredness or yawning, I yawn. That's a known thing. You guys out there have probably started yawning now because I've yawned in front of you. Yawnings do catch. They are communicable. We're all susceptible to that one. But okay, here's Ryan telling me, speak your mind, don't be politically correct. F the snowflakes if they can't deal with the truth. Oh, and that was Karen going to bed. Everyone saying good night to Karen. There was Kevin arriving. I think I've got his name right. Going downhill. Kevin's drinking with Ted. Hello, Ted. A fellow dog lover. Flying to Leeds in the morning for the match v Newcastle. I didn't know there was one, but okay. Leeds v Newcastle. $27 likes, you need to stay on for another hour. See if we can beat that 36, 37, whatever the barrier was. Everybody here's probably already hit the thumbs up. It gets more and more difficult to push the numbers forward over time. Unless people share it out on their socials, on their Twitter twat, shit chat. If you put an X in front of it, don't do that. Whoa, 29. Okay, there must have been a couple of people who were lurking who hadn't hit the button yet. 37 starts to look like a possible, and then you start convincing me to stay on. I do go with shitter spelt with an X sometimes, Mr. S. Yeah, I do. 30 now. I'm not seeing 30. I'm only seeing 29. Any raise on 29? Let's do the auction kind of. 29. There we go. Now I'm seeing 30. We had this conversation the other week about program JavaScript, XML, Ajax request, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It's only been 10 years, folks. I've still got it. I am going to open this beer. This one feels colder. Maybe I held the other one in my hand too much and warmed it up. Go on, you've persuaded me. We'll try and stay on. I'm not going to end in 3 minutes. We'll give it another half an hour at least and see where we go from there. Should I turn the tennis racket of death back on? Were we having fun listening to the snap crackle pops, or is that just cruelty? Thoughts? Ryan's seeing 31, I'm seeing 30. Oh, we're racing, folks. We're racing. Which one ends up dead first? The one on the left or the one on the right? Death by bats. I thought you'd fucked off already. What are you still doing commenting? It messes with, it does, the audio suppression, it cuts in and audio drops out for half a second when the snap crackle pop happens. I'll leave it off. I'm not being bitten, I'm not being annoyed, I haven't got any itchiness, there's nothing here. I don't think Tina's been pestered by them, so I can leave it off. That's all right. Oh, just adjusting myself, folks. A bit of sweatiness around the nether regions, letting the dogs out in the cold air. Okay, I'm only staying on now then to beg for 7 or 8 more thumbs ups, aren't I? That's not going to make for the most riveting conversation. Has anybody got any more of those questions, those moral dilemmas? Is it women and children first type stuff? Or move it a bit further away? I can't really. It's flat surfaces, the tabletop, it's rather full. Let me show. Shall I reveal my embarrassment? I guess so. This is a flat surface, folks, and the first thing that happens in a flat surface when you're tight for space is the flat surfaces get used up and things just get put down on them. and that's where we're at. You might ask, how many cups does one man need? But I'm not just one man anymore. There's someone else in the field with me, so I need extra. So yeah. What's my stance on pineapple and pizza? I'm for it, as long as it's as long as there's ham involved. Ham and pineapple go beautifully together. Now, the pineapple should be seared. The pineapple should have black bits on it, whether it's been like fried separately first, or whether it's put in a proper pizza oven at like 1,000,000 degrees and gets some black on top. The pineapple needs to be taken to the brink of you need the Maillard reaction. You've got to caramelize the sugars in the pineapple a little bit. Just putting the pineapple on, that's just moisture. That's just not good enough. You have to get that caramelization of the sugars underway. Bit of Maillard reaction. That's my. It has to be ham though. I'm not like random bits of fruit on random pizzas. It has to be a bacon or a ham or something like that. Unsubscribed. Pineapple on pizza is a crime, says Ryan. You see? Nice one. Somebody else in the field. Yeah, my friend Joby arrived. It's a nickname, it's not a real name. But Joby is a bloke who arrived in this field, not the February just gone, but the year before. I got up one Sunday morning and poked my head out of the field, and this guy was lurking, he was walking past as I was doing something in the field early in the morning. And he looked cold and shivery. He went, you know, hola. I went, hola. And I think I said hola, hello. And he went, oh, English. I went, yeah. Oh, so am I. And he looked cold. We stood talking for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I invited him in and said, shall I make, you know, do you want me to make you a cup of coffee? We had a cup of coffee, and then a second cup of coffee, and then I think I made him egg butties, egg sandwiches. And we got chatting. I learned his circumstances. He had a tent with him, but he'd arrived in the dark, and he'd just hutched down in the next field over, and he'd frozen his bits off all night, just lying on the ground. Didn't have time to put his tent up. It was too dark, too late. So he was frozen. So coffee, butties, and then he put his tent up under a tree in this field. He was here for 3 months. He moved on. He went elsewhere. He set up camp south of Torrevieja in Punta Prima, that kind of area. And then over time, he went on his travels. He got a bike and he went and he circled the bottom half of the country. And he got halfway back up on the west coast and then cut back across here to Cartagena and then cycled back up to where he'd been in Punta Prima. Came and visited me a few times, and he's had a bit of trouble down there, so now he's back in this field, in a different part of the field. He's picked a different spot. The spot he was in before was a bit exposed to the people living in this other house, in this other building. So he's picked a spot a little more hidden away. But yeah, other people in the field. So we've been having coffees in the morning and in an afternoon, and sitting and chatting sometimes at night. He was just here until quarter of an hour before I went live. Now he's in his tent watching a film, I think. I'm trying to remember what film he said. He'd watched half of it the other night. Do you know? I've got no clue what film he said he was going to watch. I should know. I was paying attention while I was talking to him. I haven't got a Scoobies. Isn't that the bizarrest thing? That's like I don't listen to him really, but I did and I do. Oh, he was going to watch, this isn't actually the one that he'd watched the other day. He's going to watch Blade Runner with a view to watching the Is it called 2047? Blade Runner 2047. Is that you, babe? What do you do? Hey? Hey? Dinner's okay. What was it? I think she's just had a myoclonic jerk and hit some empty water bottles in her sleep. Surprised herself and woken herself up with all the noise. Yeah, no, he's there was talk of watching Blade Runner with a view to watching the sequel afterwards, but that's not the one that he just said he was going to go and watch. I'm kicking myself that I can't remember. Anyway, suffice to say, I got a friend in the field again, and it's a bit different. It takes a little bit of getting used to. There's someone else around. You can walk over and say hello, and there's like an obligation to come out of the tent and have coffee. When you're used to living on your own, you get used to just doing things as and when you want, and if you're not in the fucking mood, then you don't do. When there's someone else there, you're a bit more... It's a bit more difficult to say, fuck off, I'm not in the mood, I'll do it later. There's that pressure to compromise and do things on someone else's timeline a little bit. But he goes off through the day and plays he's got an electric guitar that splits into two pieces, connects it together, tunes it up, and he plays a small selection of tunes, and if people are willing, they donate. Can you see that? There's something inside my glasses attacking my eye. But yeah, he doesn't sing, but I guess you could call it busking. So yeah, that's my mate Job. He's back in the field, long story short. Unsubscribed over pineapple pizza, there you go. Somebody recommended pineapple with jalapenos, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. Are we going? I mean, you've got that sharpness. I guess you're hinting at sweet and sour. I would still have ham with it though, really, wouldn't I? I think. I don't know. That's... Yeah, he is a nice guy. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Like I said, he had a bit of trouble from... It's not really my story to tell, but him and another guy started a camp where they're at Punta Prima, and then Joby went off on his travels, expecting to come back and still be like the leader, a leader in that camp. But this guy invited some guys who with like a deteriorating like level of quality control, you know what I mean? He invited a couple of guys who weren't that great. They then invited some people that were a little bit worse, who invited a bunch of crackheads into the camp. And so Joby comes back from his travels to find the camp's full of a bunch of people he doesn't know that are off their heads, total fucking druggies, and they nick his phone and some money. So not great. And then something else seems to have happened, and they've started tarnishing his name, or he said he's sitting there playing his guitar and people coming up to him asking for drugs. He's like, I don't know what you're fucking on about, mate. No. What made you think, oh, somebody said that somebody said? And suddenly he's not getting the donations and the contributions for his busking that he was getting, because word seems to have gone around that he's, an avid druggie or something. So if he's unable to make money there and get by there, he's headed back this way. Nice guy. Yeah, he seems, I only 5 more likes to go. We're on IC 33. That's nice. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support. See whether we can make it a record breaker. I was going to call it quits a little while ago, but if we can up the everyone likes so that Mike can go to bed. There you go. Karen's seeing 33. I'm still seeing 32. Mr. S sees 9. The likes, the thumbs ups, not the people there. I've got 16 people here. It says 32, 33 likes. It says now. I'm Karen sees 34. Okay, folks. I mean, it looks like we're headed for a record-breaking stream, even though I've done nothing and said nothing. You should have tried the ones where I use the proper real words, folks. I'm getting lots of likes for a stream that I've come into totally unprepared, started yawning, and was going to call quits half an hour ago. And I've just said started yawning, and then I start yawning. I don't think I'm that tired. I think it's psychological. You can say, if you start thinking about yawning, and like I said, they are contagious. It is a well-known, even amongst chimpanzees, other primates. If you yawn in front of them, they'll start yawning. Just shut up for 5 minutes. Like I could do that. Just shut up for 5 minutes. It's not possible. Is it? If you're lurking, folks, if you're lurking, maybe people have wandered in and they're wondering what's what. I am sat in a field next to my tent, which is just here. Quite a big tent, but quite a large tent for me and my dog. Well, I am homeless. I do need the space for storing things and oh, there's a talking point I haven't mentioned, I don't think. The Mises. I hate Mises to pieces, as Mr. Jinx used to say. Was the cartoon called Pixie and Dixie? Oh, well, Pixie and Dixie are dead. I got them both in one night, little bastards. That box of chocolates, Karen, the Quality Street. Little bastards got into it one day. Nibbled on the corners of 2 or 3 of the chocolates. So I retrieved the 2 mouse traps that weren't in use already, and I baited the little pot in the middle with chocolate, and I put one in the chocolate box, and I put one past the top of my bed down on the floor at the head of the bed, and less than an hour later, I hear I get a scurrying. What had happened was the mouse had come from the wrong side and it had climbed over the trap, and I'd kind of heard it kind of fall off the trap onto the floor, and then 10-20 seconds later, crunch, dead mouse. Brought the mouse corpse outside, took the mouse trap back inside, didn't need to rebait it, there was still enough there, rearmed it, put it there, and maybe 2 hours later, I'd kind of given up. I'd figured, that's it, you've got it, there was only one. He knew where the chocolates were, he came back for the chocolates. No, crunch, second one. No more since. But I looked today and the bait pot within the mousetrap is empty. The ants will empty the bait every couple of days. Karen seeing 37, which is arguably the record. I think that's right, isn't it? I think 37. I'm seeing 37 now. Karen's probably going to tell me 38, which would be that absolutely would be the record. Quality streets, they were, yeah, quality streets. You keep mice in the fridge. Did they eat the purple one? I don't remember which. I don't remember which one, what one, where. But they nibbled the all along the edge, the corner of one of the longer ones and one of the triangular ones. Little bastards got right in there. Only a little nibble off the end of each, and then it's like, what do? Do you throw that away, or do you eat it anyway? I am a tramp. I live in a field. No, I use those ones as the. I've kept those as bait. The ones that got nibbled, I kept to use as bait in the little pots in the mouse traps. I think I've still got a couple, even though we've had these crazy temperatures. But the other two mouse traps, I had put in such awkward locations, I can't even get to them to check them. Never mind to rebait them, or for all I know, there could be a fucking dead mouse sat in one of them, and I don't know. One's like behind the chest of drawers, and one's under my veg rack, and kind of into the corner, what I call the gutter between the bedroom and the wall of the tent. It's kind of pushed towards there, but so far under and out of the way. The original two that I put out, I've put in silly places that. I mean, you got to keep dog away, because these are really lethal mouse traps. These, you don't want Tina getting her tongue anywhere or snout anywhere near them. They are rocking fucking mouse traps. They are the way the plastic's shaped, and that comes down like a bear trap or a man trap. I don't want Tina getting anywhere near it, so I have to keep them out of the way, but some places are too far out of the way, aren't they? If I can't get back to them afterwards to check them and to put new bait in, that's no good. That's 39. Look at this, folks. This is the record TrampCast. Record TrampCast Hangout. That's the maximum number of likes while live. I appreciate you all, and I thank you very much. I don't know. I mean, we haven't had a proper topic or a proper discussion. I'm just sitting here rambling on about mouse traps and whether women should go in lifeboats first. Whether it was men's fault that there weren't enough lifeboats on the Titanic. And pretty much on any boat ever since, folks. Boats do not have enough lifeboats. Ships do not have enough lifeboats. It's just a fact. Men designed it that way, I guess. So we should let the women and children take the lifeboats first. Probably. I don't know whether it's for that reason. I still go back to chivalry and protecting women and men's job as protector in general. But there's a whole debate of sexual politics there, isn't there, that I'm probably not equipped to go into. I did watch a video the other day about these fucking nose rings. Not like a piercing here, but the one in the one through the septum. The what were they calling them? There's a theory called something like the nose ring theory or the bull ring, you know. But that's probably not a topic for here and now. But there's a really interesting video by a channel called Dadvocate. Think advocate, but with a leading D. She's like a men's rights campaigner's probably too strong. Educator, maybe? But Dadvocate. Advocate with a leading D. Dadvocate. I think I saw the video, and then Asmongold maybe did a reaction video, and I like to watch. I'll often watch the same video 2 or 3 times, often by the original creator, and then by 2 or 3 people who are reacting to that and adding extra comments around a topic. Yes, I agree with this. No, that bit's wrong. She's got that wrong. Yeah, no, she's 100% right on that bit. And watch multiple people discuss these things from multiple angles. It's always good to get, to get other opinions. I'll watch a guy who might be called right wing, and I'll watch someone who might be called left. And they're reacting to the same video, and you get different interpretations, different facts, different thoughts. It's often interesting how some people argue with logic, and some people go more from a feelings-based outlook, from a feelings-based outlook. That's a better word. But watching multiple people and multiple different opinions about a video that you've already watched yourself. Yeah, interesting. The Dadvocate, and some people call it piercing theory, some call it nose ring theory. I'm not going to go into it here because this isn't the... I'm already a sexist, transphobe, Nazi, right-wing, homophobe. Well, have I done homophobe yet? We're back to the faggot comments from earlier. It's a meatball, YouTube. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone. It's a meatball from the Midlands. Not particularly spicy. Tasty, but it's not a spicy thing. It's gravy and meatball. Faggot. 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 Don't ban me. I'm British. We have a meatball. It's called a fucking faggot. By a company called Brains. I think it is. Brains Faggots. I did get a comment banned on Twitter. I think on Twitter. And then I told them to don't, and I did, I used the swear words. I said don't fucking censor my fucking speech. And there was a back and forth, and they decided to uphold their original decision because my original comment was hate speech. Same thing. Faggots! It's a meatball, you assholes. I wouldn't call a gay person that. I might call my best friend it. Or some ultra strong, ultra macho guy who accidentally says or does something wrong, or maybe he'll accidentally do a wrist movement. You know what I mean? I'll call him it. Of course I will. But it's like the N word that I used the other week. I'm not calling someone that. I use the word. Should be allowed to say it. Shouldn't be policed for it and banned and shut down. But there's no way that I'm walking up to a black fella and calling him that. It's just, I wouldn't. Do I have the right to? If it offended me in some way? We could argue that, we could discuss that. Personally, I probably wouldn't. But should someone be like jailed for it or something? No. Should they have the police knocking on their door at 4 a.m? No. Look at the guy who got arrested in Britain. Now, this isn't speech, but it's expression. The guy waving an England flag or something near a mosque, and he's got arrested and locked up for. Has he been sentenced? Is it 3 months or something? What the fuck is that about? Can you wave a flag provocatively and harass someone by waving a flag? That's just a step too far. I think 90%, some issues are like 50-50. People were, oh, I think this, I think that. Some issues are 60-40. Locking a person up for waving their own flag in their own country because you were near the religious building of some other group, that's got to be a 95-5 issue. 95 will say, no, that's ridiculous, and 5 will say, oh, maybe. That's got to be a 95-5, or at least a 90-10. What are we doing? Politics again, folks. I started off saying I didn't want to go there. And somehow I ended up going there. See, I'm looking across out of the field here, and there's a lamppost and it's got flags on it. Just because there's a business there and they've put flags on it. No real ulterior motive. I can't even see it. Okay, that's a Norway flag. And there's another one under it, and the next lampost's got 2 other flags on. We're in Spain, and there's a Norway flag, and nobody minds. It's just a flag. I don't see how putting your own country, there's flag over there, there's a Spanish one over there. I don't see how putting your own country's flag up or waving it around, why are people getting arrested? Why is this bloke in prison? I don't see how it's harassment. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm rarely, except for last Sunday, harassment is a course of action. One incident cannot be harassment. Harassment is a course. They used to say it needed at least 3 instances, because you could have an argument with somebody, and then you could bump into them later in the same day. Like by accident, you're walking down the street or you got on a bus or something and you carry on the argument. Is that harassment? Did you deliberately set out to but by the time you got to 3, that's a course of action that could be interpreted, and it would have to be judged on the facts of the individual case. But harassment used to need 3 instances. They watered that down, and suddenly 2 could be harassment. Now a guy waves a flag outside a building and that's racial harassment. I don't see it. I'm open to persuasion, I'm open to argument, but to me, I don't get that. That doesn't stand the sniff test. Mr. S says, wow, 40. Yeah, Karen sees 41. Robert sees 41. I still only see 40. Who unliked? Oh, did someone go backwards? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that another account for the same Ryan? Or is that a different Ryan? I can't remember surnames. I reckon we've got someone in with multiple accounts pushing the button twice. Mr. S was off. That was at 1:19. That was 10 minutes ago. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, bye. Americans tuning in. It'd be nice if they did. Oh, here we go. Ryan's asking the question. What's your thoughts on Tommy Robinson? Oh, this will put the cat amongst the pigeons. I find him quite persuasive. I ignored him for a long, long time because I was susceptible to the media and the media saying all the things. The fact that he's got all these names and that he sounds like he's got a posh name, really, this Stephen Yaxley, whatever the hell it was, double-barreled surname thing, that had me against him to begin with. But I watched one of the documentaries, Silenced. So this is a guy whose cousin was raped by Are we allowed to say? I'm not even sure what we can say and what we can't say. Even saying raped, some people think is not allowed. This is a guy whose cousin was abused by a certain group 20 odd, maybe 30 years ago in Luton, and couldn't get anyone to listen to him. Saw the police and the local authority and the media suppressing the story. And he knew it was a bigger story because they knew other girls and they knew it was a big story. They knew it was being suppressed. It was being covered up. Even when news of it got out, it was treated like it was individual one-off cases. Certain horrific stories, like the girl, something like 12 or 13, who was found naked in a room, in a house with like 7 of these men of a certain heritage, dancing around words. And the police tried to prosecute the girl. She was drugged up to hell, naked in a room with 6 or 7 men, and the police drag her away and try and prosecute her for being drugged up. And just leave the men sat there in the room, because that's not suspicious, is it? I've often sat there with a gang of 5 or 6 of my best mates with a naked woman drugged up on, or a naked girl drugged up on the floor in front of me. Happens all the time. It could happen to anybody. It's just one of those accidental things that happens. Somebody should call the police and have the bitch taken away. The fuck is that about? Anyway, he was aware of all this. Luton was a shithole. It was happening lots. And he wanted to get the word out, and yeah. And the media were just always against him. Now, there's at some time, he's done something wrong with a mortgage application or something. At some point, somebody's analysed something and decided that there was a financial fraud. There was some jiggery-pokery with numbers. I don't know the full story. I'm not qualified to speak on it. But it's got nothing to do with the rape gangs, has it? What has that got to do with shit? That even if that's true, someone saying, aha, he's a, not money launderer, but he's done something wrong with money. He's a fraudster. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe accidental. I've got no clue, but it's got fuck all to do with whether his cousin was raped and whether all these other girls were raped and whether there was a cover-up of rapes, whether there was a cover-up of mass rapes and a mass cover-up of rapes by all the institutions that should be involved, police, local authorities, prosecutors, courts and judges and press. Where the fuck were the press? Politicians, local MPs, ministers, whatever. Whether he has or has not got a fraud conviction, I care not. I mean, what the fuck's that got to do with the price of bacon? Oh, well, don't mention the bacon. I mentioned it once. I think I got away with it. It was accidental. I wasn't deliberately going there because of... It's just funny though, isn't it? It's a proper expression. What's that got to do with the price of bacon? Or fish. You could have gone with fish, but I just accidentally went with bacon. Honest YouTube, honest mistake. You have to dance around these things. We're having our speech policed, and having your speech policed is the next thing to having your thoughts policed, and that is it's something up with which I will not put. Fuck that shit. Now, moving on a few years, a totally separate thing happened where a kid in a school was being bullied by some kids, and so he turned around and smacked one of them one day. Like you might. If you're of a certain age and a certain male persuasion, someone's harassing you or bullying you, you might smack 7 bells of shit out of them one day. This guy did. It turns out that the kid that he smacked was either called Muhammad or Abdul, I'm not sure. But you know where I'm going? The one kid was white, the other kid wasn't. And somebody wanted to turn that into a big race issue. And a brouhaha erupted and the media got involved and the media decided it was a race issue, even though there was no... Yeah, one guy was non-white, one guy was white. Was that the reason he smacked him? Or did he smack him with cause, with actual reason? And this was where Tommy Robinson got involved and supported the kid and his family, and this kid was being hounded by whole gangs of that particular tribe. Am I allowed to say tribe? I'm probably not allowed to say tribe, so I'm going to say tribe. Let's call them a fucking tribe. This kid and his family were receiving death threats, being harassed, petrol and stuff poured through letterboxes and stuff. So Tommy Robinson houses the kid and his family and helps them and gets him support and legal advice and stuff. And that council, this was the documentary Silenced, that council starts making everybody involved sign NDAs. All these teachers knew that the non-white kid was trouble. They all knew it. They'd known it for a while. He'd got a terrible attitude with women and female teachers and female students. Unbelievably enough, for someone from that particular tribe. Yes, I'm using the word tribe now, I've decided. Let's just say Pakistani. Or Pak. You can say Pak. You can't put the I on the end of that one. But you can say Pak. So this bunch, this lad from this bunch had a terrible attitude to women. He literally threatened to rape a teacher at some point, or hinted at it. Female teachers were frightened to be around him and near him. He just had that attitude about women, which that particular tribe have. So everyone knew that this was a bad lad, and this was the reason he got smacked, not because he was of that tribe. He got smacked because he'd been causing trouble with this lad, and this lad smacked another lad. I mean, you know, that's... blokes have a tendency of doing these things. It's a thing. He smacked someone who was of that tribe, not because they were of that tribe. What are you going to do? Well, the council made everyone involved sign NDAs. They tried to make out it was a race case. They silenced everybody, from the headmaster down. Headmaster was moved away to a different school at some point. New staff were brought in. Everybody was NDA'd up to the eyeballs. Why? And so Tommy Robinson did his documentary, and he went and interviewed all these people. He asked them, will you be interviewed on camera? No. But he had a hidden camera. He's got the obvious camera. Will you be interviewed on camera? No, no comment. Puts the camera down. Hidden camera carries on. All right, well, fair play, mate, but can I just ask, you know, now that the camera's off, I mean, tell me what happened. What was this kid like? Oh, he's a little bastard. You got to watch Silenced. I found it most, and I only watched it to be fair, to just not jump to conclusions, to not be told by the media what to think. Now, there's all sorts of counterpoints, and a guy that I respect a lot, Professor Tim Wilson, is of the other view. He thinks that he agrees that Tommy Robinson is persuasive, but that it's a malicious thing and it's a bad thing and it's a manipulative thing. And I don't see it. Not after watching all these people speak off the record, when they thought they were speaking off the record and saying how they'd been silenced by the council and how they want to speak out but can't. What the fuck is that about? You're talking about what may or may not be a criminal incident. Whether it's assault, just because kid hits kid. Whether there's a self-defense angle because kid was being bullied by kid. Or whether there's a race angle and therefore hate crime. You cannot NDA away people's right to speak out and give evidence about a crime. Whichever flavour of crime it was, and I've got no... You know what I mean? I mean, after watching the people speak, I lean a certain direction. I think the kid was a wrong un, the guy from that particular tribe. I think he was a wrong un because he's got the attitudes and opinions of that particular tribe, the behaviours towards women of that particular tribe. How much that's got to do with the fist fight between him and the other lad, what if I know? But that's what a trial should be for. That's why people should give evidence. That's why people shouldn't be silenced. That's where things go wrong. And I think Tommy Robinson is arguing to bring things into the light. Is he bringing them into the light or into the right? We can discuss that. We can discuss. What has he ever said or done that is far right? We're told to think that he's far right. And I've never seen or heard him say anything Hitlerian, anything out of the ordinary given the circumstances, given what the circumstances are and what the circumstances have been. This was a rather long answer to what do you think about Tommy Robinson. I will sum it up by saying for a long time I was in the dark and went with what I was told. And I am now a lot more open to receiving his pronouncements, his announcements, his views. Certainly I'll watch a documentary and then weigh up other people's... I'll listen to someone on the left who says hokum. I'll listen to someone on the right who says spot on, and somewhere in there I'll arrive at an answer, at my thoughts. But on balance, I don't see the far right that some people say they see. I don't see it. I don't get it. I don't know what he's ever done that's far right, apart from seemingly being against that tribe. But so far, his being against them seems to be a just and balanced... He got there by reason. He got there with reasons, with cause. It doesn't seem unjustified, and we should have had bigger and better public inquiries into all of this shit and into all the people that have covered it up. And frankly, anyone in government who is found to have actively, deliberately known and suppressed and covered up should be put against the fucking wall and shot. This is the rape of thousands of girls. This is an industrial scale. Almost a fucking factory process. I mean, I use the word industrial. That would imply factory. Now, has he got flaws? Has he got faults? Is he making money off this? I see some people suggest. I don't see how, but some suggest it. I'm open to the argument, but I don't see it. It seems to have cost him a lot in terms of, well, months, if not years in prison, and the stress of court cases and all of everything that goes with that. It's cost him in terms of family. Didn't his wife more or less have to divorce him just to be separate from him, and so as to reduce the chances of the hatred and the petrol through letterboxes, etc. Whether there's anything to this corruption, this fraud thing, whether that matters for anything, I got no clue, and I probably care even less. In terms of the rapes, what's the fucking mortgage fraud thing got to do with shit? I got no truck with that. I got no time with that. I couldn't give a flying. I don't care about that. I'm so far behind with comments, I guess, in terms of time. People flying flags. Since when did people get offended by flags? Northern Ireland bars full of them to identify themselves. Yeah. It's that tribe, isn't it? It's the invaders. Da-da-da! That's an architect, David Vincent reference. For anyone who doesn't know it, look up The Invaders. TV series from the 60s. Good summaries. If it was your family, you would do the same. Yeah, it's... Karen's definitely going to bed. Good night, everyone. That was at 1:37. See, that's 10 minutes ago. I've missed saying good night to my mate there, yeah. Society needs more Tommy Robinsons. Guy painting a Denmark flag instead of English, though. Listen, we're not all brain surgeons. In Britain, other people that live there think it's racist. Yeah, this is the thing. There's all those Rotherham, Rochdale. There's a whole, wasn't it? There's 38 councils that are suspected to have been involved in covering up rape gangs. 38 had active gangs and actively suppressed knowledge of it, because to say, hey, look at what the Pakistanis are doing, well, that might sound racist. Why are you saying Pakistanis do it? At least 50% of all rapes are done by white men. Yeah, because we're 95% of the fucking population. 95% of the male population anyway, or some such high figure. Pick a number. But yeah, of course we're going to be highly represented in any crime. We're the majority. It's our fucking country. Maybe. Are you allowed to say that anymore? Follow me on Twitter in case I get banned by YouTube. But yeah, my initial thoughts were, I went along with believing Tommy Robinson was some kind of extremist because that's what the press said. I had no reason to, I had no information that he wasn't. And then I think I saw a program one day where he's in a car, he's got, I'm not going to say bodyguards, but he's got friends with him. And they get pulled up by the police like 3 times within 2 hours. Just everywhere he went, they just got pulled up. And you're thinking, that's unusual. And they wanted to stop him attending some rally or some talk he was going to attend. But just watching the police and the nonsense reasons that they were giving. So I think I saw that, and that started to open my eyes a bit and make me give him a little bit the benefit of the doubt. And then, you know, you look into it a little bit more, and he seemed credible. I saw him being interviewed by Jordan Peterson. I like Jordan Peterson. He gets called far right. I don't know why. He's certainly is religious, which would put him on the right. People who are religious might say it puts him in the right, as in correct, but I'm not qualified to comment on that. But I admire Jordan Peterson. I've seen a lot of videos where he said a lot of things that make a lot of sense, including start by tidying your room. Basically, there was a whole Terry Wogan cartoon series, wasn't there? Stop it and tidy up. It's a good starting point. But I like Jordan Peterson. I saw him interview Tommy Robinson, and I saw nothing extreme about anything he said. Where he's ended up, as in his opinions about that tribe, might be more extreme than other people's would have been, than mine would have been to begin with. But once you follow the path and you see how he gets there, it's not extreme at all. It's fucking rational. It seems like everybody should be at that point, or at least headed in that direction. I don't understand the people who are supporting the rape of our children. I don't get it. You can be tolerant of other cultures. But what if that culture's not tolerant of you and yours? You've got this now. I'll use France as an example, but I'm sure it's happening in Britain as well. During Ramadan, there were some people sat outside a cafe bar, a Parisian cafe bar, and some were having coffee, some were having food, some might even have been drinking alcohol. But it's Ramadan. You shouldn't be eating and drinking anything between sunrise and sunset. Mate, we're fucking French. Jog on. But now they got all violent about it. You're the minority. You're the guests in someone else's country. Don't start telling them how they should behave in their fucking country. What are you doing? How far can you tolerate and be tolerant of that kind of behaviour? Okay, you're the stranger in our land, and you've got this holiday, this festival, this whatever the fuck it is. You don't get to tell us what to do in our country, is what the French should say. But no, some have started like closing bars or taking everybody inside so that they can't be seen from the street while they're eating and drinking during Ramadan. What? Why are you tolerating a culture that doesn't tolerate your culture when you're in your country? It's the craziest fucking shit ever. In my humble opinion. I can't believe that French cafe bars, Parisian cafe culture. Oh no, it's Ramadan, let's all sit inside so that when Abdul walks past, he can't see us. No. If Abdul doesn't want to see people sat outside eating and drinking during that month, then Abdul should stay inside at home. Or put on some fucking dark sunglasses and hurry from place to place. Be bussed around so he doesn't see it. You don't get to tell a whole nation what they can and can't do in their nation. That's just crazy. Tolerance is one thing. But don't tolerate the intolerance of your guests. Fuck. Why would you do that? Anyway. I've gone off on one, didn't I? I've gone off on one. 1:55. I am going to draw a line under it at 2 o'clock, folks. I'll have a quick look at chat. There was Karen going. Good summary. Same pro-immigration woman march for them now. Anti-immigration law. I'm worried about their safety. Yeah. You know, you can be tolerant and then realize that you're tolerating people who haven't got your best interests at heart. Looks like I've caught up with chat. I think I've maybe ranted so much there that I lost a lot of you, and I think we lost some people. But I was asked what I thought, and so I said what I thought. That's what this is about, folks. It's a hangout, it's a chat. If my politics aren't your politics, feel free to say so in the comments or in the chat while you're still here. Be polite about it. If you just come in telling me I'm all the idiots under the sun, then blink, you'll go to the phantom zone. But feel free to say, I disagree, my opinion is this, and I'm more left than that. And yes, you are far right. Delta Mike is on the far right. Maybe I am a sexist, xenophobic, misogynist, whatever. I have no fucking idea. Gave you 2 likes on new record. I'm seeing 41 on the likes, which is definitely above the 30. We had the whole 36 versus 37 debate. I think, was it 36 and 37 or was it 37 and 38? We hit one number, one show, and right at the end, somebody either accidentally hit the like a second time or deliberately unliked, probably because I ranted at the end. And we dropped down from whatever number to one less. So we ended up with a joint record. We are clearly in the record zone here. I'm seeing 41. I'll get an official figure after we end. The YouTube app will give me an actual figure. This is a record number of likes during a stream, folks. As I said, I am going to bring it to an end in 2 or 3 minutes. There's a few reasons for that. One is tiredness. One is slightly dodgy guts. This isn't a tweet's fault. This is not because I went to the last 3 or 4 days. Every 3 or 4 hours I've needed to extreme pressure, and then when I get there, hardly anything. Enough that if it had been in my pants it would be a problem, but not enough like to bother with really. But what are you going to do? Anyway, toilet talk isn't why you're called. That's not why you're here. We got about 2 minutes to the end. Any final thoughts from anybody? Ryan, I thought it was you. I thought I saw your other name appear, Ryan, in the comments as well. So yeah, cheers for that. We don't have to cheat to get extra, but yeah. Okay, folks, how are we gonna do this? I gotta hold on. I am clenching a little bit for the last minute. We got a minute and a half to go. Let's hope that I get there in time when I go. Got a moth on. Do you know what? I'm almost a little bit cold. And you won't, because you're, you know, the Brits amongst you. I think you are mainly Brits that are here, but let me force a refresh. 26 degrees. And yet this feels cold. This feels cold. And I feel a little bit cool. 26 degrees. You wouldn't believe that, would you? In England, 26 would be like, that'd be like your warmest summer's day most years. Here I am at night at whatever time it is, 2 in the morning, allegedly. And that's me feeling cold. Anyway, folks, we are there or thereabouts. We've got about 10 or 15 seconds, so we will finish in the tradition of the channel. Oh, I've got to make Okay, just say 2 o'clock on the actual clock. We sometimes lose a few seconds because of disconnects and things. Let me finish things in the tradition of the channel. Because, folks, because we have to have our traditions. What are we if we don't have our traditions? Look at that. I don't know what all that fuzziness is. All that. Maybe Tina's just kicked up some dust moving. Hey, babe, say bye-bye to the peoples. Say bye-bye to the peoples. From Tina. And from me, Delta Mike. Out. Catch you later.